where objects are, and they know when it's safe to launch between them. And don't forget, when you see those graphics of how many tens of thousands of 10,000 satellites in orbit, it looks like a virus. It looks horrible. But those satellites are scaled up to like city sized, right? And really they're smaller than most cars. Most satellites are roughly the size of a car at most, and they're relatively small. So it means it's actually quite hard to intercept one. It's going really fast. You're going really fast. It's quite hard to intercept. Obviously, those odds continue to go up the more vehicles there are in space, the more spacecraft. But also, our tools to monitor this is getting better and better with time as well. In fact, SpaceX, because of all their Starlink satellites and because of all the monitoring, they've actually opened up a whole new world of data that was almost like an accidental, like a secondary thing of like, oh, wait. With all these satellites, we can actually track like everything now and actually have a really good sense of where everything's at. And if something goes wrong, because we have kind of eyes on the sky, so to speak. And so as much of that could be almost a risk, it's now kind of become a help, if that makes sense. So the problem has become the solution, so to speak, in some ways. I'm saying hi from Linear Tech's Motorsports Vehicle Technology Program. I love the sound of that. I love me some motorsports. I love me some cars and rockets. Anything with power, speed, noise sometimes. I like some noise in cars occasionally. I'm still a petrol head at heart, even though I'm an EV fan as well. I like things that go fast. I do still own 2 motorcycles. Jamie asked if I was a motorcycle mechanic, because for a long time, for some reason, my Wikipedia said I was a motorcycle mechanic, although it said specifically a professional motorcycle mechanic. Now, to be clear, technically, I did make money fixing a few motorcycles. I'd flip them. Like one, I replaced the second gear in an old Honda CBR 600. And so I've technically made money as doing mechanic things on motorcycles. Does not make me a professional motorcycle mechanic, though, I don't think. But yeah, I like things that are fast, loud, powerful. The Crazy Dude 56. Hey, Tim, is there a reason why NASA is choosing to use multiple launch vehicles instead of, say, using Falcon Heavy to construct ships in LEO akin to the ISS that could then be sent to lunar orbit? So you're basically adding more complication. When you have more docking events, it's more dynamic, you have more risk involved, although that's kind of the approach that SpaceX is taking for kind of cheating the rocket equation. They're trying to land something on the moon that will weigh, when it lands on the moon, hundreds of tons, somewhere between 200 to 500 tons when it's the amount of propellant that it still has when it lands on the moon. That's insane. The amount of mass that NASA landed on the moon was about 7.5 tons, between 7 and 8 tons for the Apollo program. So to go from 7 or 8 to hundreds gives you a sense of like the scale of this. So basically, that's SpaceX approach, though, is why would we do one giant launch if we were to try to land hundreds of tons in the way that you did Apollo? Think about how big that rocket would be, right? It'd be 4 times taller and 4 times wider, and just absolutely massive. It'd be an actual skyscraper out here. Hearing cheers. Why are we hearing cheers? Because we're with 1 hour? T-minus 1 hour? All right, do we have any more comms that we can start playing? Because I think we're probably about to get to the go, no-go, and I'm feeling like we should be piping some of that stuff in. Because I want to be tuned in here, dialed in, along with you guys as much as humanly possible. We'll know what is up in a hurry here. So, yeah, like I said, the next thing that we're looking for, we are waiting for this the closeout crew here to leave. That will be something that is happening kind of alongside the go no go poll. So yeah, NASA TV is doing interviews. So we're gonna wait until we have some clean audio of things like the talking about closeout crew or the go no go. So. Sweet. So yeah, we do have the countdown that's up on our broadcast. So as soon as we start hearing any comms and stuff, you'll hear it as well. So don't worry, you're not missing anything. We are dialed in and ready to go. T-minus, we are within 1 hour of this historic mission. This is time. Make sure that you are settled in. You're not going to want to miss this. If the light, and here's the best part, guys. As far as I'm a photographer at heart. I used to be a professional photographer for 8 years. And the best part is as gorgeous as that thing looks on the pad right now, it's actually only going to get better. From here on out, we are coming up on the golden hour. So sunset here is at 7:40 p.m. We have 1 hour for that lighting to get even more, it's going to get lower. It's going to start getting a little bit more color, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So things are just going to get better from here. So don't go anywhere because it's the excitement's picking up. Like I said, I love when you hear a crowd cheering. We're not hearing anything bad, so fantastic. Let's see. Does the closeout crew refer to each other by their numbers like in James Bond? I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Yeah, like even if they're like at a bar. Jamie, I wish we could hear your comms on air so that when you're in my ear, people have a sense of what you're saying. But yeah, we'll do a joint broadcast sometime. But yeah, like even at a bar, they're like, "Hey, number 3, would you mind grabbing me one of them Bush Lights?" I don't know why they're talking like that, but okay. So we are within my left foot 68. Listen, we are getting close to when we should probably make the official call. I don't know if you're the one that's going to get the pointy end of flaming and down check, but we're getting close to that. Maybe we'll wait until after. Let's wait until after the go no go because they still need us to verify that. So the Albaguilia 6479. Hi, I'm Ona. I'm 1 year old. That's interesting. How are you typing? You are a genius. I'm from Palma de Mallorca, Spain, and one day in the future I'll read this message. Have an amazing trip, Artimas. Okay, so that's cool. If you wrote that to your future, if you are a parent writing that out, that is really, really actually adorable. So hello to Ona, and hopefully by the time you're growing up and able to read this, we are hopefully having a more permanent presence on the moon. And a mission like this, the first one in the 21st century, you'll probably look back and be like, what's the big deal, right? It's happening all the time now. Let's see. Let's keep going here. High Runner asks, do you think NASA ran a full battery health check on the astronauts' phones, also waiting for Apple to say on their ads, our phones went to the moon, watching from India? I do actually wonder. It did get kind of pushed through pretty quick from Jared Isaacman to say, hey, these are okay. We've flown with them on private missions. It's okay to use them. Yeah, what the internal team at NASA was like, wait. I mean, they already fly iPads. They already do fly modern electronics. So I don't really know what the big deal would be. But yeah, I kind of wonder what some of those behind the scenes talks were looking like. This is a fun one. Perry El Horneta Rico says, what are the 3 towers? This is a great shot right now to explain those towers. Those are the lightning towers, the lightning arresting towers. So in the event that this rocket is on the pad during a bad lightning electrical storm, those are better grounded and better suited. They basically attract lightning, right? The lightning is going to hopefully aim for those lightning arresting towers. And that's what they're there for, so lightning doesn't strike the rocket. Now, they have new, ever since, what was it, like 1997, believe it or not. It was like pretty recent history. Not Apollo 12, not when Apollo 12 got struck by lightning twice. That didn't give them the launch lightning commit criteria. Now they developed, it was an Atlas rocket that they lost. I think it was in the 90s. They lost an Atlas rocket that got hit by lightning, and it fried the guidance, and it just goes and blew up, and it blew up like $1 billion satellite. So like, hey, you know what? We better develop some rules here for when it's safe to launch and what kind of weather. So they developed a criteria about basically how close can lightning be, and what's what is a go as far as lightning, because we just really don't want to fly. Don't forget, when the rocket's ascending, it's leaving behind it a trail of exhaust, and that specifically solid rocket boosters like this leave a trail of aluminum, and that actually can be a very conductible. Highly conductive for lightning. So you really don't want to be struck by lightning. We are looking like we're getting ready to have the white room actually retracted. So you see the crew is actually now harnessed because that white room is going to retract, and there would be a 350-foot, 100-meter cliff basically off the side of that once this does begin to retract. So we are seeing them clipped in for safety now, as it might already be starting to move. I can't quite tell. Yeah, I think right now they're pulling back on like the weather stripping, the weather seals that keeps it all sealed up right now. But once that starts to move, we will let you know. That will be a really good sign. That also is something that let me think. That actually is supposed to happen at let's see. The actual crew access arm won't fully retract until T-8 minutes. So they keep it there, but they have to have it be able to be pulled back and all the weather stripping retracted so that when it's ready to retract, it's not like pulling on the rocket, right? They want it to be a detached at that point, and they will then retract later on. So let's keep going here. So where are we? What's the purpose of the pilot? So technically, there's the pilot's almost. This kind of goes back to the Apollo program too. The pilot's the co-pilot. The main pilot, or what we'd consider pilot in aviation, is the commander. So so when you hear that term pilot, they're kind of almost more the backup. They're typically traditionally acting more as a co-pilot role. But they still want to have manual controls and manual capabilities of this rocket, of this spacecraft, specifically the spacecraft. And they will actually do some manual docking maneuvers. They'll do some close approaches once they detach from the ICPS, the upper stage of the rocket. They're going to do some close approaches and fire up the thrusters. They have 6 degrees of freedom, so that means they can, go forward, backwards, strafe left and right, strafe up and down, parallel, like that. But they can also roll, obviously, in 360 degrees as well. So you have, so that means they want to test all that out. So that does require that all the thrusters are working. And to be able to do that manually, no human has piloted the Orion spacecraft before. So we're going to hopefully see that today. That would be after the orbit raise maneuver, the main orbit raise maneuver, which would be something like T plus 13 hours or so. So there's still people on board to be able to control stuff, just in case. Will I be able to see re-entry in San Diego? Probably not, but thank you for your super chat. I think it's going to be too far off the coast of California for splashdown. Oh, this is awesome. Don Stevo says, super stoked for you to come to Nerdland Festival, Tim. I bought a ticket for Space Night. See you there. I assume not a meet and greet will be possible. Oh, here's why they're in the harness. Wait, what view is this? Yeah, but what happened? Did they pull it back already a little bit? Okay, so they pulled it at launch. Don't say that. Oh. Yeah, so they retracted a little bit. That makes sense. And they'll do the full retraction at T-8 minutes. But yeah, that explains it. That's hope you're not afraid of heights, because that gives you a sense there of just how high up they are. Wow. And it is continuing to retract, isn't it? I see some additional motion, I think. Maybe not. Maybe that's my eyes playing tricks on me. Yeah, I'll be at Nerdland Festival in Belgium. So, yeah, it's in Belgium, right? I don't know where I'm going, but I will be there. You know what? And maybe I'll try to set up some kind of private, like not a private, but like a meet and greet that's like offsite or something one of the days, and say hi to all my friends over there in Europe. Those are always fun to do. So depends on how much time I can get off. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. But thank you. I'm excited. I love going over to Europe, and excited to make a speech. I should probably make a new speech because my other speech is kind of old. Let's see. Your personal take on when Starship HLS will be ready. I don't think we'll have the tankers and the proven technology to be able to do all that and the actual spacecraft ready for humans. I think the first time it touches down on the moon without humans would be 2029. That's my personal guess. And if that goes well, maybe later that year. But yeah, I mean, you gotta be a touch pessimistic, right? We've seen how time frames always slip. I would really hope that we are able to land before 2030, though. That's my hope. That's not a lot of time, though. We're within 4 hours of that already, or 4 hours. We're within 4 years of that already. So time's a ticking. Time is ticking. Speaking of time ticking, we're with T-minus 49 minutes. We're probably coming up on go no go. Interesting. Okay, so they're kind of doing, yeah. If we're ready to put that up, I wouldn't mind listening in on that at this point, just so when it does go over. Or look. Yeah, let's bring a NASA program. I'm kind of ready for a little voice break and listen in for a second too.
Reed is the one sitting in the seat to the right, closest to our camera there. So, looks like he's relaxed by the body language of his feet.
Yeah, I think they're kind of in a holding pattern, if you will, or a waiting period. So it makes sense that he's a little bit relaxed. He's also kind of just a relaxed person in general. He's wicked smart, but has a demeanor that keeps everybody calm. And so I think we're seeing that here today.
And so in this shot, Reed is the one sitting on the left, and to his right, Artimus II pilot Victor Glover. NASA selected the California native as an astronaut in 2013, and at the time he was actually serving as a legislative fellow in the United States Senate. His first trip to space, November 2020, pilot of NASA's SpaceX Crew 1 mission. That was the first operational mission of NASA's Commercial Crew program, which resumed launching American rockets from American soil to the International Space Station since the end of the shuttle program. Victor is a U.S. Navy captain and naval aviator who served as a test pilot, racking up more than 3,500 flight hours in more than 40 different aircraft. So again, he probably feels pretty at home in the pilot seat of Artimus II.
Yeah, I think he does.
He got to say goodbye to his wife and 4 kids. Again, those were the family that he had here at Kennedy Space Center before the 4 of them drove out to the pad.
Yeah, and you can see there, we talked about Victor's energy earlier, and you can see him working through, pushing some buttons on the displays. Looked like he was pulling up a procedure, so he's following along and ready to go, looks like.
And then mission specialist Christina Cook, sitting on the upper left-hand corner of the screen there, native of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Was selected to the Astronaut Corps in 2013, same class as Victor. Served as flight engineer on the International Space Station from March 2019 to February 2020. During that time, she set a record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman with a total of 328 consecutive days in space. How cool. She also participated in the first ever all-female spacewalk. And before becoming an astronaut, Christina helped build space science instruments and led scientific fieldwork in some of the most remote environments on the planet. Her hobbies include surfing, rock climbing,
And
community
CDR,
service, yoga, and photography.
Go ahead, NCD.
There's a couple of suppressed overvolt messages. We're going to go ahead and clear those off your screen.
We see them and we copy.
All right.
NASA test director.
We're still working here, trying to get through everything. So we're getting close, and then trying to talk that other issue that we just picked up a little bit ago. But I think work-wise, we're doing really well.
Sounds good, NCD. We're doing great on board.
Glad to hear it.
NASA test director giving an update to the crew. Some messages flashed on their displays. Just wanted to say that they didn't have to worry about that. We're going to clear that. And that also just reassuring the crew, again, that they are tracking and working the issue with the launch abort system battery.
Yeah.
All right. And then first-time flyer, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen will fly to the moon as mission specialist on the Artimus II mission. The London, Ontario native, selected as an astronaut in 2009. After that, he worked as Capcom at NASA's Mission Control Center in Houston. Capcom stands for Capsule Communicator and is the sole direct voice communicating with astronauts while in space. Jeremy also participated in training exercises, really cool ones like living on the ocean floor off the coast of Florida to simulate deep space exploration for a week. In 2017, he became the first Canadian to lead a NASA astronaut class. He also enjoys getting out on a sailboat.
All right. Welcome back. I just had to take a quick little break. So it sounds like they are still working some small issue. However, we haven't seen the countdown clock change here. So that's good. But that also means we're a little bit behind on the go, no-go poll. So I am expecting to see the countdown clock move a little bit. This is just total speculation here. I'm not expecting a 6:24 p.m. liftoff. But we will let you know if we hear anything else, because at this point we're kind of at the whims of, it sounds like they have a few items they're trying to close out on, which is fairly normal. Again, they have a 2-hour launch window, so just because liftoff can be as early as 6:24 p.m. Eastern, just because it can be that early doesn't mean it's going to be that early. There's a chance they could always push it back as much as 2 hours. So during this time is the time you want to make those adjustments. And you want to do that while they're in a steady state here, because once you get too close, if you get inside the 10-minute window, it becomes harder to do a recycle. It takes about 75 minutes to do a recycle. So if they get to T-minus 10 minutes and they see something crop up, the minimum amount of time is 75 minutes. So almost will chew up that entire 2-hour time frame to be able to get back in, to be able to do still a launch attempt on that same day. If they get I think it's under, 3 minutes, it's basically scrubbed for the day. And for sure, if it's 100%, if it's within the terminal count of T-minus 33 seconds, if you get within that and something happens, it is 100% a scrub for the day, and they will not have another opportunity. Even if that was at the very beginning of the window, it's done. There's certain commodities and certain things that need to be fully reset. I don't actually know what the exact specific thing is that makes it so it fully resets, but there is something. There is a thing that fully resets. So, yeah. I'm stoked. The white room is clear, though, so that is a good sign. The fact that the white room's clear, as you see on our camera, we will be hopefully seeing that closeout crew departing the pad, which would be a good sign. That would be a good sign. However, the issue could be something along the lines of, we did hear whispers for a minute there about a battery issue on the launch abort system. Sounds like that could be something they're still working, an issue. But at this point, we are kind of all passengers, just kind of waiting to see what exactly is going to go on here. So, yeah, we are. Who even knows at this point, right? So I don't know. I'm not ready to say that there's anything necessarily going wrong, but the fact that we haven't had the go no go poll is a little bit concerning as far as time. Like again, we have 2 full hours. Starting in 41 minutes. After that point, we have 2 hours for them to figure and work the issue for there to be a launch today. So keep that in mind. This is actually a good question that I do not know the answer to from Tom Bailey saying, do they still use the same alignment lasers for wind like there was in Apollo? I don't know about alignment lasers. I actually did hear one of my friends, Charlie Garcia and Joe Bernard, were talking a little bit about something along those lines with guidance and stuff, and I actually went right over my head. So I don't know about that. So let's keep going here with more questions. From Todd saying, born in 1969, fascinated with the mission to the moon. Great channel. Well, thank you so much, Todd. Appreciate it. This is the first time that you can probably remember humans flying beyond low Earth orbit. If you were born in 69, you would have been too young probably to remember Apollo 17, which was in 1972. But here we are. This is, again, this mission is not landing on the moon. This is a lunar flyby on a free return trajectory. It's a full shakedown of the Space Launch System and the Orion capsule, doing a very extensive, shakedown of all of the different parts of this mission. So it is a different profile than they'll ever fly again. But it's still, I mean, come on. We have not had humans leave low Earth orbit since 1972. How? And finally, we're here. So I'm so excited. I wish they were landing on the moon for this, but that rocket is not capable of lifting. The Orion capsule and the service module are heavy, and this rocket's actually less capable than the Saturn V. We just got something. That appears to be a shot of the second stage, which I don't know how we got that. That looks like the nozzle of the ICPS on the left. That would be an incredible shot during stage separation. I mean, holy crap. If they don't take that one down, I don't know if we're supposed to have that shot, but we do. Hey, I don't think that'd be our fault if NASA provided it. Well, that was cool. Welcome to wacky world of who knows what we're going to get in the NASA feeds today. But that's still, that will be pretty exciting when they do light up.
And then the helium iso valve config. So while we do that, we're going to get a bunch of caution warning IDs that we'll see in transition and into not over alarm. So just a heads up, you'll see that on your screen.
Okay, so they're just
Copy all, Jeff.
just informing the crew that they're going to see a bunch of warnings because they're doing some kind of purge or something with helium, I think, for the engines. So that's normal. They're just letting them know, don't panic if you see a bunch of stuff going red. Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat to a few people here.
Go ahead.
So in the countdown, normally right now, the official clock would go on a hold, on a T-minus 30-minute hold. At T-minus 4, it's L, because we have the L-minus, we have the T-minus. It's so annoying. But typically right now, the countdown clock internally would stop at T-minus 10 minutes at L-minus 40 minutes. So, but I think out here at the press site, it appears that they have the L-minus clock, because that would line up with the 6:24 liftoff, right? They're not showing us the countdown clock, the T-minus, which would have held about 2 minutes ago at T-minus 10. So as confusing as it is, trust me, we're all confused by that, but that's the reality. So yeah, we're making progress towards the launch today. So this is from Dups. Hello from the UK. Is this NASA's last chance to prove they can do these launches without going cap in hand to SpaceX? No. It's going to be a while before there is another crew-rated spacecraft and crew-rated rocket capable of getting humans to the moon. If something were to go wrong, there's new vehicles being made already, SLS and Orion, kind of in the wings, waiting to be having their chance to fly. So that's still right now as it stands, both SpaceX and HLS and Blue Origin for the HLS, the human landing system, the landers, are separate from this, right? They're totally separate. They still rely on this to be able to get the humans out to the moon and bring them back from the moon. Now, I could see a world potentially where you could get a cheaper way to get out to the moon, using something like Dragon Capsule or something. But Dragon Capsule has some concerns, like it can't free fly that long. Doesn't have the heat shield for lunar reentry, doesn't have life support for that long, doesn't have the battery. There's a whole host of things. It doesn't have enough delta V to be able to go do an orbital insertion, but a lunar orbit insertion. But there's always ways around that kind of stuff. But for now, Orion is really the only thing that can get us out to the moon, and it's the only thing that can get us back from the moon safely. So that it's going to be used for a while because, again, stuff like this doesn't happen overnight, especially in the spaceflight world. Why black ring near the top of the left booster but not the right? That's a great question. Maybe that's just an identifying marker, honestly. I've never noticed that. That's a keen eye on you. I wonder if that's to help easily identify which is like starboard and port, basically, which side of the rocket that's on. So that's a really astute observation there, my friend. I never noticed that, but that would be my guess. So it's easy to be able to see. So it looks like the closeout crew is officially coming down the elevator. Hopefully we might even have a shot of the van getting ready to leave. You can still see the van there on the pad in this shot, just to the bottom left, kind of in that gray area. You do see the van on the pad. So the closeout crew is still there. Obviously, the rocket's not going to launch with the van there. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. Scoop Drew became a member. Thank you so much. I'm going to just fly through a bunch of these and try to get some more questions. I appreciate all the support. Always means the world. So thank you guys so much. This is from George. George Itchev. If the launch is on time, do you think people in an airplane from JFK bound to Munich, Germany, taking off? Nope, they will not see it. If you're going to Munich from JFK, you're actually going to be flying quite northeast. You're going to be going, up over the top, basically. You don't fly due east. Your flight trajectory is shorter. If you take a string, it's shorter to go over the top of the globe than it is to follow the circumference. So it's, although it looks straight east or feels straight east, you'll probably fly over Greenland and stuff. You're flying in the wrong direction. Artemis is flying basically due east. So, I mean, there's always a tiny chance in the lighting conditions and stuff. If you knew exactly where to look, you might see a tiny glimmer of it. But I would say that ranks very highly on the unlikely from that distance. Let's see here. So this is I like this question asking, do you think Bart Sibrel is watching? I'm excited. I don't know. Maybe Bart Sibrel is watching at this point and trying to poke holes in whether or not that rocket there is capable of taking humans to the moon. Because, that's the funny thing is there's going to be moon landing deniers that are like, we can't fly through the Van Allen belts. And this rocket actually, this mission profile sends them through the Van Allen belts basically 3 times. The first orbit's actually pretty nasty. They will be pretty much right at the lower part of the inner Van Allen belts on their apogee. And then the second orbit gets them all the way out, 70,000 kilometers. They will fly through the Van Allen belts again, and then on the way back down. And then once again on the way out, that just goes to show that although people make it seem like it's this huge risk, we talked about those risks in my video about the Apollo program. It's not anywhere near like even close to a lethal dose. It's not anything hardly even like that big of a deal. People have just completely blown it out of proportion. So obviously, it's going to be funny to see that happen. And I'm sure they're going to be like, well, they didn't actually do it. They stayed in low Earth orbit the whole time. And it's like, give it a rest. Give it a rest. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. It was awesome having having a flown astronaut, 3-time flown astronaut and a commander of a space shuttle. Mark Kelly, it was awesome to have him on. So I appreciate those of you that were tuning in during that, and also when we had Lockheed Martin on air as well. It's been awesome to be able to get some extra voices on here, get some people that know what it's like to ride on a rocket like that. Pretty fantastic. So what's the total amount of fuel this thing needs for the entire journey? So that would be, let's look at the total liftoff mass of SLS. That can't be right. No, it's not 1.6 million. It's more than that. Hang on. So it's about 2,600 kilograms. So 2.6 million, 2,600 tons of mass. You probably have a few hundred tons of dry mass on that. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of propellant. I mean, a rocket is mostly just propellant with skin on it, right? You got a lot of fuel, and you have this thin little rocket. And the rocket, most of it is just the skin for the fuel that holds the fuel on top of the thing that can lift it, the engines. So yeah, let's see. Are the Astros wearing Omega Speedmasters? Feels like they deserve some moon watches to me, even if they don't land. I think that Omega is still doing something. Sorry, I'm probably going to put my... Oh, maybe this will work. I can barely read my screen. The sun is coming in right over my shoulder now, of course. I'm probably going to end up being fried. I put on more sunscreen, guys. I'm screened to the gills, but it's not going to be enough. I guarantee it. Florida sun is no joke. I feel like they were wearing some Omega watches. I'm not positive, but I think they were. I feel like there was still some kind of partnership there with Omega and NASA. Whoa, Jamie wearing an Omega. Aren't those are probably pretty expensive. I gotta stick with my regular watch. This is from the Cody Reader. Hi Tim, I always wondered if it was possible to yank off the tank insulation just before launch to save weight. Is there a reason they don't do that? Is it just not worth the extra engineering? I think there's a good part of that, and there is a rocket that used to yank the insulation off. Literally, the best part of it was the yellow insulation, and they literally peeled it like a banana. I am not kidding you. I can't remember what rocket did that, but there was a rocket that had a yellow insulation that peeled off on liftoff. And yeah, it does kind of beg the question of like, isn't that actually a decent idea? And I think it is, but I think at the end of the day, yeah, it's probably just not worth all the extra engineering considerations. Spaceflight is a compromise. And every little thing is someone else's headache. And at the end of the day, maybe it's just easier to spray a bunch of foam and have a little bit of extra dry mass. It's not as bad when it's the core is not as bad as if you had to add a bunch of insulation to the upper stage. The upper stage is more tolerant or less tolerant to adding additional mass. By the way, we're allegedly T-minus 30 minutes, and we're hearing nothing, which is NASA's in interviews. So definitely something's going to be moving. We're going to be getting for sure, not a scrub, but we're getting a move time, right? Like this is not taking off and. Yeah, I think, yeah, sorry, my laptop is big time. Hi, hello, let me block the screen just right there. Is that a good place for the laptop right about there? That's great, okay, perfect. Sorry, yeah, the sun's just coming in so hard now, I can barely even read my screen. Let's see, so let's keep going here. Again, I'm just now getting caught up to when Mark Kelly stopped in. Captain Mark Kelly, former NASA astronaut, stopped in. Thank you for saying hi. 79 months from Germany. Thank you so much. 79 months of support. Mr. Moon, stop giving us assignments and give me many A's for the rest of the school year. Yeah. Hey, you get an A from me for being in here and watching this launch. You get an A. So thank you so much to Gator Aaron. Let's see. Did I put the right one up there? Wait, which one said that? No, that was Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. You get an A from me. Oh, let's take it. NASA's doing an interview with NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. Let's take it.
How will Artemis II set the pace for the coming years?
Well, I mean, Artemis II is the opening act, right? This is the test mission. This is getting very comfortable with the SLS rocket, the Orion spacecraft. No humans have ever flown on this before, right? And we're going to put it through its paces. We'll go into Earth orbit for a little bit, make sure Orion's doing okay, and then we are sending them, right? We're going to send them farther into space than any humans might have gone before, 250,000 miles away, and it's going to set up for the subsequent missions. That's why we're going into the golden age of science and discovery right now, because you're going to see moon rocket launch in 2027 when we do our testing with the lander. We're going to go for the landing on Artemis 4 in 2028, and in parallel, we're going to build the moon base, right? And that is going to be filled with science discovery and tech demonstrations that's going to support the enduring presence we're trying to create on the surface.
Absolutely. So honestly, history-making years ahead of us, with Artemis 3 and 4. But first is Artemis 2. What will be our single greatest takeaway from this mission?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, after ignition, to me, the moment that I'm going to be most excited for is splashdown. There's no question about that. Good shoots coming down off the West Coast. But look, I think the takeaway from this is gaining extreme comfort in the Orion spacecraft, right? I mean, this is very different than what we've done for more than a half century, right? I mean, the velocities that spacecraft is going to re-enter at, it's going to be new territory for us. We want to get our arms around that completely. So I would say the performance of SLS plus Orion is everything on this one. We want to make sure we do it in as a safe way as we possibly can, understanding what we are undertaking right here, bring our crew back, learn as much as we can from the vehicle, set up for Artemis 3 in 2027.
Right. And Administrator, we've actually had a pretty young audience today here, some kids running around the balcony. How do you hope Artemis 2 inspires that next generation?
I talk about this all the time. Like, one of our overarching KPIs that we should always be tracking is the number of people living and working in space. Well, what's another strong number 2 on that one? It's the number of kids that are dressing up as astronauts for Halloween, so that they grow up, that they're inspired to want to join in this grand endeavor, whether they come work with us here at NASA or they join in industry, but they're helping humankind venture out farther, pursue all the secrets of the universe.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of kids dressed as astronauts this year. And finally, Jared, you've really made it a personal mission to get to know the people behind the work at NASA. Do you have any final thoughts, any final words before today's history-making launch?
Yeah, well, one, I want to express a lot of appreciation. I'll tell you what, the 4 astronauts on top of Artemis 2 know this. It takes an army to pull a mission together like this, right? Across all 10 of our centers, all of our commercial partners, the international partners that come together to make this possible. My sincere appreciation for everyone who is currently working the mission right now, so getting them ready for launch, that will be watching over them in mission control, recovering this crew when they splash down off the West Coast. I have complete trust and confidence in your abilities. And everybody else who's not directly working on Artemis 2, Artemis 3 is coming up next year. When this mobile launcher gets back in the VAB, we're going to start stacking.
Wow, plenty of excitement ahead of us. Jared Isaacman, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Of course. All right. And with that, let's get back to the countdown with NASA's Megan Cruz.
Under 25 minutes and counting from the opening of our 2-hour launch window, and take a look at all these people behind us. I literally, every moment I turn around and I see the clock, I am like, oh, wow. Oh, wow.
There are more people and less time.
Yes, exactly, which is a great problem to have.
Yes.
Now, this first crewed test flight of NASA's Artemis program coincides with the 250th anniversary of our country's founders signing the Declaration of Independence. Exploration is a part of America's DNA, and it continues now with our return to the moon.
250 years ago, 13 colonies laid the foundation for the greatest and most enduring democracy.
All right, guys, I am back. Hi. I hope you didn't miss me too much. I had to take a little sunscreen break. The sun is, even though the UV is low, sun safety, it's just right over my, it's just beating down on me. And I was listening to that interview, and yeah, we don't really have an update. They did mention, again, at the very end there, they mentioned we're at the opening of a 2-hour launch window. So keep that in mind. There is a chance that this T-minus 23 minutes that we're seeing right now, that's the opening of the launch window. There is a 2-hour launch window. Good chance that we hear from Mission Control soon, the launch director, that, hey, we're going to move 45 minutes into this thing. Which, here's the deal. If you're me and you're a light snob and you love the golden hour, anything that moves it right up until 8 p.m. So as long as in the next 2 hours this thing launches, the lighting is going to be fantastic. It'll actually just get better and better. So just for the fact of, look at the angle of the sun here, how the shadows look so crisp. They add so much dynamics to that rocket. It's just going to get better. That's only going to improve as long as it doesn't. The problem is the end of the launch window is 8:24, and that will be basically fully on, that will be in dark. So yeah, welcome again. If you're just tuning in, we got a good amount of you guys here watching. Thank you for tuning in. I am at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. This is the vehicle assembly building where this rocket left just a few weeks ago, rolled out to the launch pad on that famous crawler. We're right here on site. We are 3 miles away. I can see the rocket's right here in my line of sight. 3 miles away, 5 kilometers away from NASA's most powerful rocket they've ever launched, the SLS rocket. And this time there are 4 people on board. This is so many of the launches I covered don't have humans on it. Some of the biggest rockets, like when I've seen Starship launch and stuff, there has never been a human on a Starship rocket yet. Of course, SpaceX flies Crew Dragon on Falcon 9. I've seen a handful of those. Those are really exciting. I love that. But hey, by the way, I believe that's the closeout crew van driving by. I believe that is the closeout crew van about to be driving by the press site. So I don't know if how active our tracking capabilities are at this exact moment, but okay. Over by all the flashing lights. They're being held up by the blockade at this exact moment. But that's a good sign. Also, the big armored vehicle. I love it when you see that. That's when things are getting real. That's when things are getting serious. But yeah, what was I saying? That's what I love about being on site, is we are here literally as close as you can basically be without being in the red zone, without being in the red team. We are as close as you can get. There we go. That is the
NTD.
Here, I'm going to listen for a second.
Go ahead.
All right, Reed, we can go ahead and configure for terminal count at this time.
Interesting.
Need team over to your
That's
channel
good.
here in just a minute.
That's good. They're configuring for terminal count.
Integrity
That's good.
copies.
You know what? Is there a chance they didn't air the go, no-go poll at all? Because terminal count would be lining up in 10 minutes from now. And if they say they're configuring for terminal count, they might be just going for it. Yeah. This clock has not stopped. The clock is not stopping. They're moving forward towards a launch at 6:24 p.m. by all accounts. We haven't heard anything other. We were assuming the silence meant that they were moving it. Really, the silence just means they're just chugging along, and we're just ready to go. So that means, my friends, I hope you haven't gone anywhere. If you're hearing my voice and you're maybe halfway tuned in, I'd start tuning in. We are getting down to go time. They told the crew just now to configure for terminal count, which would be T-minus 10 minutes. And we are at we're at T-minus 19 minutes, 25 seconds. I mean, okay, the public affairs officer, are they back to giving us updates, or is it? Okay, so we'll tune in again so we have the comms open right now. We're listening into anything that's going public to let you guys know. They are targeting. It is official, my friends. They are targeting the top of the launch window, which is 6:24 p.m. Our countdown clock is accurate. We are targeting 18 minutes and 54 seconds from right now, seeing this rocket launch. And again, look at the light. I'm getting goosebumps. Here they are. Okay, they happened. Look at the lighting conditions right now. Oh my word, this is going to be such a picturesque and gorgeous launch. Are you kidding me? We couldn't have prescribed. We got the Pixar clouds. We got the Toy Story clouds popping up. I mean, this is like a painting. This is like a Norman Rockwell painting. He doesn't really do landscapes, but you get the point. You get the point. This is, holy crap. I'm so far behind on
Copy all
the support.
And let's see, GLS, can you help us with that, please?
I kind of missed what that said. No, it's okay. Thank you so much. Oh, is that Anthony Gomez? Oh, we love you, Anthony. Yeah, thank you, Anthony, at Rocket Ranch. We are excited to be streaming soon from Rocket Ranch Outpost for upcoming Starship launches. It's going to be an awesome. We're going to be even closer to Starship. Oh yeah, look at this is what I'm seeing, by the way. When I'm looking, this camera's right behind me. This is one of the robo trackers we have back here. Is looking right out, right there. So I do like, of course, that we have that press site marshalling area side. We'll have to track that out of there with After Effects or something. Yeah. But that's my view of this rocket. You're finally seeing a really good sense of what it is that I'm seeing. Oh man, how gorgeous is that? That's as good as it gets. I am feeling very lucky. But Anthony, to answer your question, how does it sound compared to vehicles between SLS? So Starship is a really low frequency rumble, and it's loud, but it doesn't quite have, like, there's some gut punch about those SRBs that's very distinct. And I think because each booster is producing, if you think about it, each booster produces like a quarter of the amount of thrust, no, not a quarter, about a fifth or sixth of the amount of thrust, whatever it is, of Starship. Those boosters alone are producing they're ripping sound apart, right? They are just so powerful. We're seeing the two solid rocket boosters there on screen on the left and the right, flanking that core with the 4 RS-25s main engines. Those engines, everything you're seeing on screen basically quite literally flew on the space shuttle. The solid rocket boosters on the side were recovered from the space shuttle boosters. They used to reuse those. They're stacked. They're now 5 segments tall instead of 4. And that makes them more powerful to be able to pick up this bigger stack compared to the old space shuttle. And then you're seeing the RS-25 engines down there. And those are literally flown space shuttle engines. I think 3 out of the 4 are, if I remember right. Toss it to NASA quick.
Is an instrumentation failure. There's something wrong with the sensor. And so they took it before the mission management team, which has to accept the risk, any changes to launch commit criteria, which this would be one, and they all fully accepted it. So now we are clear as far as that constraint is concerned. And one quick thing as we count down now, we are getting into the final minutes before liftoff. There's a 2-hour window. We haven't quite set the T0 yet, but this is a list of the cutouts. There are 150 cutouts that are included for this 2-hour launch window. And that's important. They're in very small print. That's important because there's basically 16 minutes inside this window that they cannot launch. And these are because of small things flying in orbit. There's a lot more things in orbit than there were back in Artemis I when we had 35 to 40 cutouts. For that reason, because of these 156 cutouts, they're going to be managing the launch window as we go forward. So they may have to wait out one of these cutouts. They range in time between 2 seconds to 23 seconds, but you'll hear the NASA test director talk through that. We're getting ready to merge that loop from NASA test director Jeff Spaulding.
So they're talking about merging.
So now I'm listening to the launch team get ready
I'll keep
to
listening.
merge their operational channel.
This is all good news, though. So what he was talking about is basically they're going to be
now
merging.
Entering one of the most consequential phases of launch day, and that's terminal count, the final 10 minutes.
And OTC, NTD on 212 for comm check?
Good, comm. Tell me.
I hear the same. STC?
Two.
GTC?
GTC's on 212.
All right, copy that.
NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding confirming communications with his team.
So basically what they're doing is they're merging
two poles
the
that will hear.
clocks right now. So we have the countdown clock and the terminal clock, right? So these are now merging, and at T-minus 10 minutes, we will hear them say something along the lines of, we're in terminal count. That's T-minus 10 minutes. They might shift that. They're talking about potentially shifting it by maybe even seconds or a few minutes to really optimize for everything, to optimize for range and all of the other considerations. It might shift a few seconds, a few minutes, but they're not talking about like anything else like towards later into the launch window or anything. They're basically going for it. So this is good. We are tracking. Everything is tracking towards T-minus 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, if we're hearing anything more.
CCL, OTC, Orion, RS1.
CCL.
Yes, sir. Reconfigure ARS primary loop ISO valves.
Copy, that's in work.
And CDR, OTC, Orion, RS1.
Go.
ARS loop ISO valves are being closed at this time.
Integrity copies.
NGDLP.
Go.
Yes, I had a discussion with sea ice and with MER Manager regarding the observation the sea ice had a few minutes ago. They were able to confirm with BCI photos that the condition that they observed has been there since 2025. MER Manager has had a chance to review the findings, and they do not have any constraints from either a sea ice or MER Manager perspective.
Okay. Copy all. And Launch Director, NTD, you copy?
Yes, sir. I copy. That's good news.
OTC, CCL 212.
OTC.
ARS primary loop isolation valve configurations complete.
Copy.
And CGLS NTD, cancel pending, please.
CLS copies, and that's complete.
All right, and for all personnel, we got a little bit more work to do before we pick up the clock, and we're about a little over a minute from getting to T-minus 10 minutes, but we've canceled the resume time there, and then we'll pick it up after we get through all of our work and anything else that we need to do to get through the remainder of count. So we'll continue working that to get to our T0 today.
Okay, so did you guys hear that?
So when we get to about 50 seconds from now, we'll extend that hold.
Okay.
CVSC OTC.
So you...
CVSC 400-290, looking to verify that we are configured for ascent.
Yep, give me about 2 more minutes. I'm going to start CMA2 streaming.
Copy.
Okay, so...
NTD, COSE, hold requested.
This will be moving a little bit here, but not a lot.
I have an LCC violation of O-CT-004, S-band transponder anomaly. This was a transient LCC violation, so transponder 1 had a demodulated SNR estimate that went down to 2 dBm when it should have been between 10 and 13. It is now back up to 12, but we did lose that for just a moment. It does not appear that we lost our bit sync or carrier lock, which would be indicative that we lost our lock with the vehicle. So at this point, recommendation would still be go. However, we do have a pre-planned contingency procedure if we want to look at that. But again, this is transient, so we're back in a nominal range.
All right, let's see. LPE NTD?
Yeah, we're not seeing that hit. So I guess the question for COSE, was that less than 3 samples? Is that below our persistence?
Stand by. Let me look. It did look like it did persist for several seconds on mine, but let me take a look at the number of samples.
Could I get a repeat on the affected LCC, please?
Yes, ma'am. That's going to be O-CT-004.
Thank you.
So I'm working on changing our clock to say that we are technically in a hold. So give me... Okay, if you got that, go for it. Okay, so... Yeah, not long of a hold. They're talking minutes here, guys. So we do have the countdown clock on your screen. The official NASA one is in hold. We're going to sync our clocks once we have a new T0 time.
Yeah, us taking a look at the data right here. Looks like that was a single sample.
Yeah, copy that. RFTS does report that they also lost lock for about 5 seconds. So I would love to ask KUS and see if they also lost lock with the vehicle for any extended amount of period.
So now we're basically talking about the communications.
And COSE, while we're doing that, these are 1/10 hertz measurements, correct? So we would have had to lose it for over 10 seconds to get a second sample.
Okay.
Yes, sir, that's correct. It is 1/10 hertz.
Yeah, so from our perspective, the allowance is effectively up to 30 seconds, up to 3 samples based on the 1/10 hertz. This is not an LCC violation, I believe.
Yes, sir, I would agree with that at this point. Copy that.
We're checking with KUS on 232. I don't think they have 212 access. We're trying to verify, but.
So basically, they have some telemetry coming off the vehicle.
But it sounds like they have a loss of lock as well.
And that's transmitting.
About 2 seconds.
Okay. And I guess for both KUS and COSE, do we have lock now?
That's affirmed. We do have lock for COSE.
Okay, so essentially, we can duck them out for a second. I'll catch up on,
we did
on
have
what
a
is going on.
temporary loss there.
So basically, they're talking to the vehicle right now, right? And I believe they're doing it now wirelessly over the ground tracking stations. They're no longer doing plugged in. So they're beaming transmission between the rocket and the vehicle and the ground. And at one point, they were seeing a loss in some of the updates there. They saw a drop in strength and a drop in data. And so they're trying to see, like, is this okay? And someone brought up the point that it only updates about once. They said 1/10 of a hertz, which you'd think would mean 1/10 of a second, because 1 hertz would be 1. But 1/10 of a hertz said it was 10 seconds. Maybe you meant like it. But the point is, the resolution's so low in that one drop, it doesn't quite violate their. It's such a big time frame. It's not dropping below their constraints of like what would be considered a launch commit criteria. So basically, they're saying like they're talking about, like, is this okay? Is it okay now? Was that a one-time thing? Was it something that, do we kind of know the issue? How serious is it if this were to happen during flight? If we lost this data during flight, will likely will be fine? What kinds of things are we talking about? So that's what they're talking about, and talking between ground control, mission control, launch director. They're talking over all these things right now. So that's what we're hearing. I'm going to listen in now again.
And LPE, just want to verify we have no open constraints at this time.
No open constraints. We have a clear board, sir.
That's good.
Okay, tracking the same here.
Okay, so we'll get a new T0 time here in a minute.
And launch director, with that, we are clear and ready to pick up the launch readiness poll with your go.
All right, sir, I am go for the poll.
All right. And for all personnel, this is the NTD conducting the Artimus II Launch Readiness Check. Yes. Verify ready to resume count and go for launch. OTC.
TC is go.
STC.
STC is go.
GTC.
C's go.
MCO.
CO is go.
Safety Console.
The Safety Console is go.
LPE.
LPE's go.
RTD.
RTD's go.
Houston Flight.
Houston Flight is go.
ROC.
ROC is go.
And CDR.
Crew is go.
Copy that. Thank you, Reed. And Launch Director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
All right, NTD, I copy all. At this time, I'll perform my poll.
My friends.
Attention on the net. This is the Launch Director performing the final poll for launch. Verify no constraints and go for launch. EGS, Program Chief Engineer.
Artimas Chief Engineers are go.
Copy, thank you. EGS, Chief Safety Officer.
The Artimas CSOs are go.
Copy, thank you. Range Weather.
Launch weather is go.
Thank you, LWO. And Artimas MMT Chair.
MMT's go.
Thank you, John. And Integrity Launch Director.
Good to hear your voice, Charlie. PLT.
Thank you, Charlie. This is Victor. We are going for our families.
MS1.
This is Christina. We are going for our teammates.
MS2.
This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity.
All right, Charlie, your Artimas II crew is go for launch. Full send.
Full send.
I copy that. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, on this historic mission, you take with you the heart of this Artemis team, the daring spirit of the American people and our partners across the globe, and the hopes and dreams of a new generation. Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis II. Let's go.
You heard it, my friends.
And NTD Launch Director.
Go ahead, Launch Director.
Yes, sir. You have a go to proceed with countdown.
Copy that. I'll put it in work. CDR, NTD.
Go.
Configure your visors and initiate short purge per your EPROC 10.1.1, steps 8 and 9.
10.1.1, 8 and 9 going to work.
Copy.
Okay, it's probably going to be about 10:32.
CDSC, NTD. Start and verify recordings of our Orion cameras.
22:32 UTC.
Thank you. RSR, NTD.
RSR.
All right, perform the booster ignition SNA arm rotation. Enable at this time, please.
RSR in work.
Holy crap.
Booster ignition SNA arm rotation enable complete.
Copy that. Thank you.
Integrity crew, close and lock visors.
So that happens at T-minus 11 minutes. So I'm guessing we're about 1 more minute out, which would maybe mean about a 22:33-ish might be the T0. Wait, the clock has not moved here yet, but we're waiting to hear. We've got that up for you. That is lined up. That clock on screen right now is synced. We will sync our clock as soon as we can so we can punch around and give you the best views in the house in glorious 4K. My friends, this is it. We are within... We're actually getting close to seeing this rocket lift off. We're within probably about 11 minutes at this point. This is the time now. I know I've made this call a few times, maybe a little bit prematurely. Tell your friends, tell your family. This is the time now. We are getting close. Once we're within terminal count, that means they're going. I mean, the rocket is all automated from that point on. If there was an issue, they might still be able to reset, recycle for the day. That'd be about a 75-minute recycle. And depending on what the issue is.
And ECL NTD will be waiting for your verification on the short purge.
ECL copies.
And for all personnel, once we get that short purge verification, we'll verify that we are clear to go, and then we'll proceed with the terminal count.
So I've got ocular assessment of the clock here, by the way. So I'll be keeping tabs on it. Looks like that was a NASA feed camera that actually moved us out of shot. So we kind of lost our ability to have that on screen. But I'm still looking at it. We are still not seeing the clock move quite
ECL
yet.
time estimate?
About a minute.
Copy.
Okay, so that'd be tracking closer to 22:24, or 34, sorry, UTC. So that'd be 6:34-ish. But so it looks like, we'll see here, guys. I mean, they're working towards this. They're working on resetting and getting us a new T0, which is fantastic. So, yeah, that makes me very happy. Everything's looking go. Everything's feeling good, guys. How are you feeling out there in chat? Let me hear you. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are excited for this one because this is, for most of us probably alive right now, this is our first time to see humans leave low Earth orbit. They're going to be heading out to the moon. They're not orbiting the moon, but they're going to be going further away from Earth than any humans have ever by a few thousand kilometers. So it's happening. It's getting closer and closer. We probably should do one really important check now that we have this. We've been asked about it a long time, and this is probably the most important thing. Can we do a pointy end up, flimmy end down check? I would like to at least do... Oh, no, our graphic.
All right, copy that.
I'm so sorry.
Verifying our constraints.
My ocular assessment of this rocket and my trained eye does confirm the pointy end is up and the flamey end is down. NASA, you have my permission, because you obviously need it, right, to launch this rocket. We can confirm pointy end up, flamey end down. Chat is go.
All right, and we're clear from cutouts. And with that, we're going to resume the clock momentarily.
Okay.
And CGLS, you can resume the clock on your mark.
Oh, it's just going to be on a mark. Great.
GLS copies. 3, 2, 1, mark.
So 35:15.
Mainline has been initiated.
Clock is
T-minus
counting
10 minutes
down.
and counting.
to cheers of the crowd. There's the press site. People start jumping up and down and cheering. The clock is moving, my friends. Okay, so I'm going to stand up. I'm going to get ready to watch this with my own eyes, just over my shoulders. I'll still be with you guys, obviously. And before we do that, I want to say one more thank you. I will not be able to get to comments until this thing's off the ground. I will take a little comment break and try to catch up. But thank you so much to all of you who are watching, who are tuning in, who have generously donated Super Chats, who have generously become Patreon supporters and everything. This is happening. Goosebumps are going to explode off of me at this point. And one more thank you to everyone that has purchased something on our shop and checked out our new Translunar Coast collection. This is our, if we're go for TLI, you better believe this is what I'm going to be wearing for the rest of my life, basically.
And Houston
finally,
Flight and Rock, our new T0 is 22, 35, 12.
I was close.
Rock copies.
22, 35, 12. Okay.
Affirm.
So if you want to support the work we do here, the most fun way to do that is to go over to everydayastronaut.com/shop. Pick out one of our new shirts, including our new Orange to the Core shirt that you'll probably see me wear way too often. Has a little orange guy, and it says it talks about the isocyanates that make the orange booster orange, sun-kissed isocyanates. Yeah, I love our new collection. We have crew shirts. We've got a lot of fun stuff. So if you guys want to support the work we do here, everydayastronaut.com/shop. Get this collection, pre-order this collection before it's gone, because you guys know how it goes. Stuff does sell out, and then we might not do a run of it again. So everydayastronaut.com/shop. Check out our new Orange to the Core shirt. Get yourself some other stuff that I think is pretty fun, including our Translunar Coast tee that has the crew on the back in their glorious Artimas spacesuits.
GLS's go for crew access arm retract.
Crew access arm retract. That's fantastic. Get yourself a slow roll t-shirt in honor of the crawler. Yeah, everydayastronaut.com/shop. Check out all the sales. We have shirts for only $10 in the RUD section. So clear that out for us. Clear up some inventory. We are clearing. The crew access arm is moving. All right, folks, it is getting real. Let's do this. I'm going to move into action mode because holy crap, this is happening. And I got to make sure I've got enough of a leash here to be able to move this. Oh, I can change headsets. Oh, look at that. Okay. Look at that. Wow. You guys, you had a second headset already set up. What a bunch of professionals. Don't get used to it. Yeah. Welcome back. I am you're seeing me now in the flesh again, but just slightly different. So now you might have a little sense of where I'm at too. You can maybe get a glimpse of our trailer back there. Our Titan trailer, we're calling it now. Something we have some backronym for it. But my friends, that doesn't matter. I am staring at a giant orange rocket that stands something like 95 meters tall, 330 feet tall or something, with 4 astronauts on board inside the Orion spacecraft. It has 2 massive solid rocket boosters. It has 4 RS-25 engines ready to lift off and get these humans further away from Earth than any other human has ever flown. That's right. I'm being pedantic. All the people that are trying to be pedantic be like, but we've already gone to the moon. Sure we did, but our maximum altitude is 400,100 something kilometers. We're going to 402,000.
Go for core stage tank pressurization.
So, baby, we are going further away from Earth than ever before. We're going to see the moon like we've never seen it before, and we're going to get fantastic video. We're going to actually see this stuff in 4K, because that's one of the things that we have in modern technology is actually good cameras. So I can't wait for this mission. This is a historic mission. We are T-minus 5 minutes and 35 seconds. Holy crap. Ryan, how are you feeling? Ryan's running a tracker over here. We've got our crew, so thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is what I have been waiting for over 14 years since I first watched the Orion capsule fly in 2014.
GLS verifies last capability available.
Okay.
And CDR, do you copy?
CDR copies, last available.
So this is something, once they get beyond a certain point in this count.
GLS's go for FTS arm.
So flight termination system arming. That's a good thing. Holy crap. Okay. I'm getting ready for this. You guys are ready for this?
GLS is go for LH2 high flow bleed check.
So high flow bleed check would be probably the bleed valves on the RS-25 or on the core stage, something like that. I'm not sure what the high flow bleed check would necessarily be. But soon they're going to be purging the engines again one last time and and they're soaking them in already with the hydrogen, getting them ready for startup. I think that actually started already. So the RS-25s, the next big thing is if something within T-minus 3 minutes happens, the reset would...
GLS is go for core stage APU start.
Okay, that's the auxiliary power unit on the core of the vehicle that provides electrical power and hydraulic power. They're getting ready to start that up and pressurize that system. At T-minus 3 minutes, if there's any issue, it would likely be a full reset, a full scrub. So we do not want that. We want a smooth countdown. And T-minus 33 seconds is the final ignition sequence, automated sequence happening. So at T-minus 6 seconds is when we expect to see the RS-25s light up. So we have a few more things until then, but we are tracking towards everything looking fantastic. There's so many people out here now. Holy crap. This is the most picturesque, gorgeous sky we could have asked for. I'm so thankful again for all of you guys watching. I hope you're feeling the excitement at home. I have never
go for purge sequence 4.
I've never witnessed this. Okay. T-minus 3 minutes now. So we're within that window. We are within that window. Everything is still moving. This is fantastic. Ryan's got what could only be described as a shawl over his head to prevent the sun because there's a lot of glare right now for his tracking assets. I've got my eyeballs ready to go. I'll try my hardest to contain myself. You guys know sometimes that is difficult for me. I'm going to step off of that because I realized I was shaking the camera. So there will be... Oh, nice. They're doing the gimbal checks on the RS-25 engine. So you'll see them moving around right now on screen. And it's moving in opposition of each other, so that actually induce roll. So that is a good sign that those are moving. Everything's looking good. You see that those little puffs of that would probably be puffs of helium. So we're seeing everything. This camera, can you imagine how hot that's going to be in a few seconds? And from the deck here, that's about to be flooded in water here.
GLS is go for upper stage to internal power.
Okay, T-minus 2 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. This is the real deal now. I'm going somewhere, though. I'm setting my phone down because I want to be able to just watch and witness and have fun. Oh, my word, guys. I am, like, half panicking right now. This is insane. I've waited a long time to see humans go beyond low Earth orbit. We've kind of been stuck there since the space shuttle program. So to know that humans are going to be going further away from ever before.
GLS is go for core stage to internal power.
Everything that we're hearing on comms is go. Everything's just moving through the checklist. Everything is working as planned. Now, the words we do not want to hear is hold, hold, hold. As long as we're not hearing that, we're continuing to track towards a liftoff in T-minus 1 minute and 10 seconds. So, guys, all eyes on screen right now. This is going to be a rocket launch that you're not going to want to miss. We are T-minus 1 minute. Let's go. Everyone cheering again at the press site. It is go time. It is go time. So, once we get down to T-minus 33 seconds, that's the real nail biter. So that's when it goes into the automated launch sequence for the very last bit to get the engines running. So here we go. And Mark, T-minus 33 seconds.
GLS is go for ALS.
Automated launch sequence. So we are within that window now. This means
25.
They're tracking, they're going, they're getting ready. So there is nothing
20.
holding this thing back right now. We are moving forward through this. And we're expecting engine
15.
ignition at T-minus 6 seconds. So you'll see the RS-25s light up. So you
10.
see the...
GLS is go for core stage engine start.
Here we go. Core stage engine start. We have ignition of the core stage, my friends. Holy crap. And ignition. That is liftoff of Artimas II. the first time humans are going back to the moon since 1972. This will be the furthest humans have ever flown away from planet Earth. Let's go, my friends.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch. Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? That is one of the most gorgeous launches I've ever seen in my entire life. That is the crew of Artemis 4 heading to the moon. Look at that glorious rocket flying, ascending, mostly powered right now under the power of those solid rocket
through
boosters.
Max Q on Ponce de Leon.
They've made it through maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Loud and clear on Ponce de Leon.
And they
have you the same.
All right, loud and clear communications. That's excellent. Those solid rocket boosters are still propelling this thing for another minute or so, pushing the core stage further and further and faster and faster. You can just see it. You can see the trail behind it. It is absolutely glorious. You saw it roll when it took off the pad to line up on its azimuth and heading basically due east right now to be able to, and it's pitching over to be able to accelerate because it has to accelerate horizontally. It needs a lot of horizontal velocity to get into orbit. And here it goes. So we're coming up, and the next big milestone will be booster cutoff and booster jettison of the massive solid rocket boosters. So we'll hopefully actually be able to see that from down here even with our tracking assets. And here we go. That's going to be coming up here any second. And hopefully we hear that call out as well. Wow. That is SRB SEP 100%. Look at that. You can see the two solid rocket boosters now drifting away from the core, and now it's only powered by those 4 RS-25 rocket engines, continuing to push this thing into an elliptical orbit. This will actually burn all the way.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready.
Yes.
Copy all, Stan.
Oh, we love to hear it. Everything is nominal.
Integrity, SM priming complete.
Service
priming complete.
Oh my word. That couldn't have gone better. So now this will continue to burn until about 8 minutes. They'll ride this thing for another 5 minutes, and that's going to put them into a highly elliptical orbit. It's going to be at about 2,000 kilometers in peak altitude, so 1,200 miles in altitude in an orbit. And that way, when they let go of the booster, the core stage, it's going to re-enter Earth's atmosphere and burn up intentionally so it doesn't become space junk. And they will have to raise their orbit and then start doing these progressive orbit raise maneuvers to be able to get out towards the moon, checking everything out, every system one at a time, including igniting the upper stage for a brief period to circularize or to raise the orbit so it doesn't re-enter.
Houston Integrity, good last jettison, great view.
Copy jettison. Team Eco 8+02.
I can't believe it. I can still see it.
On board, Stan.
And Houston has you loud and clear on Tidris at the Kármán line.
At the Kármán line, my friends.
Outstanding, Stan. We have you the same.
You can see the shadows of the exhaust plume. That is just the coolest thing. I can still see this with my bare eyes right now, like just completely clear as day. This is the clearest sky I've ever seen at a rocket launch, and it happens to be at the most important rocket launch of my life. And I'm just standing here able to just soak this in. This is a gift of all gifts. So thank you to everything in the world and everything in the universe that has lined up to make this just this absolutely beautiful moment where we're witnessing history again, seeing humans return to the moon, leaving low Earth orbit for the first time in my lifetime. This is absolutely enormous, guys. So again, they'll be riding that booster for another coming up on 3
Integrity,
and a half
GPS
minutes.
processing.
Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. Look at that tracking shot, by the way. You'll notice the exhaust gets so wide because once it's up in the above the atmosphere, there's no atmosphere to can squeeze in on the exhaust. So the exhaust is coming out of there. It's expanding. It's really hot. You know, it's hot, high pressure gas.
Integrity, 3-engine press.
3-engine press.
3-engine press.
Not sure what that means. Press would actually normally mean pressure. But 3-engine press, I don't know if that means they're now running on 3 engines versus, I'm not sure. We have some shots there of fellow members of the press. That was cool. Yeah, I mean, this is all going well. Yeah, I'm not sure what 3-engine press is, and hopefully we'll get some other views from NASA as well, because they will be providing live views from inside the capsule quite often, is my understanding. But I need a vibe check here, guys. How is everyone feeling? Can you believe it?
Integrity, looking good at 6 minutes.
Same on board, Stan.
I'm like almost speechless because it just never is this perfect. Never. This rocket just took off right pretty much at the beginning of its launch window. All right, so we're getting a telemetry-based animation. This is probably going to make the flat earthers and stuff go, ooh. But the reality is, at this point, it's so far down.
Expect nominal shutdown.
Oh, there's another tracking shot. At this point, though, it's so far down.
Copies, nominal shutdown.
The tracking is just abysmal, right? So they get so far downrange, and don't forget, unfortunately for us in our visual assessments and vantage point, the Earth is curved. They follow the curve of the Earth because they're getting into orbit. So that's all an orbit is basically making it so like your ballistic trajectory is going so fast that instead of falling back to Earth, you keep accelerating. Like imagine if you threw a football, you know, obviously it's going to go like this, or you shot a cannonball like this. But if you get above the atmosphere where you no longer have the atmosphere to slow you down, and if you go 17,500 miles an hour, 28,000 kilometers an hour, and you're going that fast, you're basically just falling. And your trajectory, instead of it intersecting the ground, will now go around the Earth. And so that's why they have to accelerate. That's why it pitches over, and now it's all about that horizontal velocity, getting up to those magic words, you know, getting into orbital insertion. So that's...
Integrity, AOA open.
All right.
AOA open.
Angle of attack open? Or... angle of attack open? Yeah, I mean, I can't even quite picture what that would mean. Abort ocean. Oh, wait, what? All olives available? Yeah, that's probably what it is. All olives are available at this point. So, yeah, that's good to know. Olive Garden's happy about that. They got the 3-to-1 going some weird Olive Garden rant. Okay, so we are coming up on core shutdown here any second. It'll be when they shut off the RS-25 engines, placing them into a highly elliptical orbit, which is good. That is a good thing. We don't happen to have that internal like upper stage shot anymore, do we? Oh, we do! We do! And there it is. There is stage separation. That is the ICPS.
Nominal MECO, core stage separated.
Let's go. We officially have core stage separation. That is the upper stage.
We see the same on board, Stan.
Separating from the core stage. So the animation there now is showing you basically what you were seeing from the inside. They were showing the inside there for just a second as it separated from the core stage. This appears to actually be that tracking shot, UFO. This is the secret UFOs. No, that's a tracking shot there. Probably a ground tracking asset. But here we are, my friends. Oh, sorry, I'm knocking around that camera again. Everything is looking absolutely fantastic. So they're basically going to be doing an orbit now, and they'll fire up the ICPS for just a moment. I probably can go sit back down. Right? Give me a second.
Integrity Houston, looking ahead to PRM numbers so far per the pad.
Copy that, Stan. Numbers for the pad.
So yeah, we don't have much on that shot, to be honest. It's just kind of that blanket thing. So I'm gonna catch up with you guys. I need a vibe check. How is everyone in basically as much just awe as I am that just happened? That just happened. It went so smooth. We're in quite the coast phase right now, guys. So we're not really missing anything. We'll keep the audio open, obviously, but just for a little heads up here, now that that's funny. They actually list R10 nozzle extension at 8:28 in the official press briefing. There is no nozzle extension on this. This is an R10C. There is no nozzle extension. So even the NASA official press kit, I noticed a little error.
Integrity, good. NEDS deploy.
So the next thing, well, unless that's the nozzle. Are they showing a nozzle extension?
And good, Neds.
What's NEDS? Are those aerodynamic fairings basically around the solar panels, probably?
And Integrity Houston for PWD setup. Just a reminder, halfway open on the secondary.
We copy that, Stan. Halfway open.
Okay, so the next big one will be at 50 minutes. Will be the perigee raise maneuver. That's the orbit raise, and that will be using the ICPS upper stage. They'll also be deploying the Orion solar panels here at T plus 20 minutes. So in the next 8.5 minutes, we will see that happen as well. So let's see here. So let's keep going. I've got so many questions to answer, guys, but I just again need to say thank you to everyone for watching. You have a lot of choices to watch. We know we aren't. Actually, we know technically we're not the fastest ones out there because we're streaming in 4K. And because we're streaming in 4K, there's more latency. So that's just a server encoding thing. I wish that they could speed that up, but that's just a reality. But we appreciate you watching because hopefully you enjoy hanging out and you enjoy the commentary and you enjoy the 4K, the 4K-ness. If you have a 4K device, which most of us probably have by now, hopefully you're taking advantage of that, and hopefully you enjoyed that launch. I hope I also I was mindful to not totally cover up the launch audio because I tend to do that with my excitement. So and frankly, Jamie is inferring, letting me know the rocket was too loud. It was louder than me. I was actually surprised. It wasn't as loud as I remember, to be honest. It was fairly subtle. Maybe it's because I'm wearing the headphones. I'll bet if I put the headphones down, I would have thought differently. How was it inside the trailer? Was the trailer shaking? Huh. Jamie says a little bit. Wasn't bad. I feel like Starship actually
Houston,
rumbles more.
C3 aux power back in auto.
Copy,
Yeah.
C3 aux,
Wait,
and
it's
we're
more
2
than
minutes
Starship?
to maneuver.
Okay. So, yeah, back to some questions and stuff. So how many of the 5 remaining Apollo astronauts are attending today's launch? Thanks, Tim. That's a good question. I have not actually heard of any living Apollo astronauts here. I would really expect Charlie Duke to be here, though. He's in good health and loves this stuff. So yeah, sorry. I can actually maybe get the laptop over here now, actually, because the sun is finally going down. I'll finally have a chance to be able to read your comments properly now. I'm going to push a bunch of Super Chats on air real quick, just as a thank you. I don't have time to read them all, but I got to catch up a little bit because we are way behind, and we're waiting for those solar panels to deploy. So once those solar panels deploy, they might actually have video of that for us. Depending on now, they're also dependent on ground tracking stations. So where they're flying now, they're basically over the Atlantic. There isn't, a bunch of ground tracking stations over the Atlantic. You have to have, ground for that, right? So they probably don't have telemetry other than the TDRS satellites. I don't remember what that stands for. Tetanus Directed Ready Satellites? I have obviously no idea. The Tenacious Drawings Randy Satellites. I'm not sure what that actually even stands for, but that's the way they're able to still communicate with the capsule right now. In the future, I really hope they're just using Starlink. We've seen what that opens up for video capabilities on Starship. We've seen Starship successfully produce beautiful, absolutely gorgeous footage all the way on ascent, all the way through ascent, and all the way through reentry and plasma and everything because there's always a Starlink satellite within reach, right? That's the beauty of having a constellation like that. Now, NASA, this rocket was built before Starlink was even a twinkle in anyone's eye, really, and therefore it's not going to have. It would take a while to certify things like Starlink on a. Hey, just throw this thing that you've never tested before. Just throw it on your multi-billion-dollar rocket. Go ahead, just do that quick. That's not going to happen. So it'd be a while. But I would love to see that. I would love to see by Artemis 3 or 4. Maybe that can be a milestone for Artemis 3. Hey, let's throw a Starlink and test it in LEO when we're doing these docking missions. That seems like a nice progressive milestone. Maybe that's something that an administrator who is friendly to, hey, let's throw in, you're okay to use iPhones. This is Jared speaking. He'd be like, I basically have used iPhones on 2 of my missions, so why can't they use their iPhones, right? Which I love. I love that. Like, what is the barrier? Why are we saying no to things that are, already, like, what's the risk? Can we just bypass that? And so I would love to see a Starlink receiver on the next Artemis mission, so we can see views like this the entire way through. That would be fantastic. Sorry, I said I was going to push a bunch of stuff, and then what did I do? I just sat here and rambled and rambled and rambled. So like I said, I'm just going to push a whole bunch and check their iPhones. Speaking of iPhones, that they're in airplane mode. Thank you so much to everyone who has been here. So the dudes in the white suits, those were the closeout crew that got the crew into the vehicle. I am that far behind. If there's a SCE to Ox moment, luckily we didn't hear anything like that. Hopefully everyone these days is a steely-eyed missileman ready to poke that over. There is a flight termination system problem. We are no-go, but that is obviously in the past, my friends. That is in the past. So let's keep reading some comments. This is actually, I want to address this. Everyone's saying, this is all fake. All the images will be AI generated. How do I feel? That's actually the problem with this era is we are in an era of extreme information, and whether or not it's credible information or whether or not it's AI generated. I saw this with my own eyes. You can't tell me that was AI. I have.
And Integrity Houston, cross-tie is on board per the ETSI-DEM.
We copy Houston. Thank you.
So we're coming up on solar panel deploy here soon. But you cannot tell me that what I just saw with my own eyeballs was AI. I mean, I've been tracking this stuff before AI even existed. I've been watching this stuff forever. We have our own tracking telescope right here that's manually operated by a human. Like, we watch this, and that's what sucks to me is, like, these days, it is so easy to see a little 10-second clip of something that looks so convincing. We've all been faked out by it, which is actually why it's even more important now to find people, sources that have been around since before AI. Because soon you could start following a creator or someone that you think you're trusting that could be entirely AI generated the entire time. If you know me, you know that this is real. You've seen my videos.
On that momentary prop caution.
You've seen me covering this stuff since 2017 full time. So you know that I was around before AI
and
existed.
Read no action, we're looking at it.
So that's why it's important to find sources you trust, know, and don't just believe everything you see, but also don't not believe the things that are real, because that's also the other important thing is all the noise, all the background noise can delude reality and can delude truth and can delude honesty. And when there is a mission like this and there is a moment like this in history, to have people not even paying attention because they've been disillusioned into not even thinking this is real is a tragedy to me. That's what else is what's next? Are Super Bowls fake because you haven't seen it with your own eyes? Like, is that all AI generated just for ad revenue? That'd probably be smarter. We'd avoid some CTE, but that's at some point you have to learn to have some discernible, a little bit of ability to discern truth accurately. You're doing a bad job if you're looking at something like this and saying it's AI generated. You're failing the reality litmus test, right? This is actually really important. You need to be able to have some, what's the word I'm looking for? Like this, not skepticism. Jamie, help me out. What's the word? No, not suspended disbelief. The word of like, where you're able to filter cabbage from non-cabbage. Like scientific method. Oh my
Integrity Houston, update on
Here we go.
Tidris handover for your pad.
Tidris handle for your pad.
Give us just 1 minute. And Stan, you can read it. Ike is ready to copy.
Roger. Tidris handover east to west, expected 1 second earlier at 5:1 minutes 26 seconds.
So they're switching over between one of the other satellites that is able to give them this downlink right now, because before that, like I said, they were using ground tracking stations, and now they're out over the Atlantic.
All right, Stan, we copy 1 second earlier for 5126 Tidris east to west, and saws are starting to deploy. Thermal knives are firing.
We concur. Thanks for the report.
I still can't remember the word I was looking for. So, critical thinking, critical thinking, critical thinking. That's the stuff I was trying to remember. How ironic that the guy trying to think of critical thinking can't think of the word critical thinking. Wow, beautiful. Yeah, critical thinking skills, my friends. If you're, there's a hit and miss situation here. If you're labeling things AI that are not, you're failing the critical thinking path. You're failing reality, really. If you're seeing things that are AI generated and thinking that they're real, you're also failing that critical thinking. We need to sharpen this tool. We need to be able to discern accurately, and I think companies and social media and things like that need to also start having some accountability on this stuff, because obviously there's going to be scams rampant, there's going to be misinformation rampant, there's going to be propaganda. It's already too late. That's already happening. It's already too late. On an individual level, we need to learn some critical thinking skills and have some ability to discern reality from not reality. So when you're watching me and you know that I've been doing this since 2017, you can look back at my channel and you know that you can see on my social media the things that we're getting out here to do this. I don't know. What's it going to take? Like I said, I'm just going to kind of fly through some of these.
For prop messages, we see 2 temperature measurements right near the line. It's that momentary message you saw earlier. We're going to suppress those. It's CM helium heater 2 T1 and heater 1 T1. They're going suppressed.
Integrity, thank you. We see the same.
That's an interesting question here about a potentially. Sorry that you're using your last bit of internet to ask. Is there a way to other countries could sabotage flight? Honestly, no. They're pretty encoded and pretty darn hard. This is a very protected area. I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's always the potential, but I don't have that answer. And if I did have that answer, I definitely wouldn't want to share that anyway. But I really genuinely don't know, though. Thank you so much for a $50 super chat. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Just kind of doing some of these here. Let's see. Why so much exposed electronics on the hatch? What if someone bumps something? The inner hatch, probably. Yeah, that was probably the inner hatch. Oh, you mean like inside the capsule or inside the closeout of the shell, the abort shell? I'm not sure which one. Yeah. Yeah, it was likely. You're probably seeing the other hatch. There's 2 hatches. There's the inner hatch for the Orion capsule, and there's the abort, the launch, whatever it's called, the launch abort shroud, basically. That hatch also has that one looks
we
more.
We are happy to report that Jeremy has the O2 sensors on.
Copy O2 sensors.
Okay, that's nothing. But yeah, those you're probably seeing all the stuff on the part that no one can access. It's in between the 2 doors. I'm just going to kind of fly through a few of these.
Integrity Houston, we see 4 saws deployed and latched, ready for ATO preferred.
Yeah, we're almost there in the procedure stand, and we see the same thing.
Are they showing the engine firing in that graphic?
Integrity Houston, we are seeing a 7-second miscompare between the MET on Orion and ICPS. We'd like you to read us the MET from your center status bar and for the ICPS on StackSum.
Please don't be a Boeing Starliner issue. That's mission elapsed time. The timers between Orion and the upper stage are currently showing 7-second difference.
We see a absolutely precise alignment. MET 25, 14, 15, 16, precisely aligned with ICPS MET.
That's good. So internally they're seeing it. That must be some kind of ground tracking.
Copy. Thank you for that. We'll investigate a ground issue.
And Houston integrity, ATO preferred set.
Copy. ATO preferred.
Black smoke coming from the bottom of the rocket while it's on the pad. I don't recall any black smoke. There shouldn't be any black smoke. There was condensation, white smoke, because of how much one is just chilling on the pad. That is from really, really, really cold air coming in contact with the liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen. We do have a replay. Here we go. Oh my word! Is this Ryan's shot? Oh my! Is this Ryan's shot? Is this ours? Oh my word! Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Ryan Shalinsky, you beautiful man. Ryan, have you seen this track? I'm sure you've seen your own tracking shot. You're playing it back right now from there. Oh, interesting. Do you want to talk about this? Wait, hit it again and come talk about it. Or pick up that mic pack right there. I'd love to hear about it. It doesn't have a long leash. Yeah. Ryan Shalinsky, everyone. Cosmic Perspective.
Hey,
you all probably know him. We've been working together for, I don't know, 7 years now.
Go Artimus II.
Go Artimus freaking II.
Oh my God, it happened.
Come in a little tighter if you want. Right? Okay. There we go. Or we could grab a chair if you want. But anyway, just tell me about it.
Okay. This is an Ember camera filming at 750 frames per second. Or 720. Okay, there we go.
Oh my God.
So what's really hard is the solid rocket boosters are so bright, right? Mm-hmm. So to get the exposure where we see some of the rocket itself is tough. So this is a little overexposed, but it allows us to see the capsule and everything after engines separate. So, but yeah, awesome footage. Love the Ember cameras. It's on a 2,000 millimeter telescope. We have it on a Robo tracker head. And it's all joystick controlled.
Manually controlled.
Manually
by
controlled.
your hands.
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic work.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's so exciting. Look at that freaking shot. And the fact that it was daylight.
Yeah.
I mean, the lighting on this is about as...
Daylight means everything.
Daylight.
Oh my God.
And the
so
angle of the sun, too. The fact that it turned like that and is lined up like that, where we just get this beautiful, crisp shadow and everything. Oh! Yeah. I bet David Willis is absolutely crapping his pants right now.
David Willis.
The ultimate SLS stan is probably the happiest human being right now, and he's probably clipping this and agreeing and in full agreement.
I'm not sure if we can fast forward to main engine cutoff and separation.
Oh, the booster cutoff?
I'm sorry, booster separation. Yeah.
They're working on it. Yep.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So that's amazing.
This is crazy. I wonder, the cool thing too about this rocket, because it has the exhaust plume, is that the whole coast, all of Florida, could probably see that thing. I'll bet Florida people are able to track it. Oh, here we go. There's booster separation.
Okay.
And look, you can actually still physically see the boosters because they orient. They pull away like this.
Integrity for GNC. We're taking channel 1 to unfiltered and to BFS.
I can't believe that, man.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
Okay, and we're watching. Go ahead.
Plenty of footage to look at. It's probably like a 20-minute clip or something like that. So.
And probably nearly a terabyte of data or something.
Yes.
So you have to compress it down
We're
for
gonna
me
have
so
a
I
lot
don't
of fun
lose my mind.
Replaying for sure.
Yeah. So people that are also in doubt out there. I know there's people always being like, as they do. Yeah, that's our own tracking footage. We shot that right there. You actually could see it probably in the background of the live stream. Literally right there. You're seeing the replay from this camera right there. You can even see it blinking because it's probably showing that it's like replaying right now. That's literally happening. I mean, yeah, it's sad. Like I was talking a little bit about, when it's important to be excited and be, following along with stuff. And this is one of those things. This was a historic mission, and we're here. We got to witness it with our own eyeballs. Actually, technically, you basically saw it through your own screens.
That's the one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in the future, yes, I need to kind of vary how I view them.
Yeah, or automate it somehow.
Yes, or automate it somehow.
Or get brighter screens, and then one eyeball can be on the screen, and the other can look that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the glare, and we just had to deal with it today. But a lot of times, I don't have to do that, and then I can kind of glance up a lot and be more in the moment. But you got to do what you got to do.
Man, Ryan Zielinski.
Amazing.
I'm sure you guys are all following Cosmic Perspective already, but get ready for some incredible. We'll probably be putting some kind of little thing together, and then Ryan will do Ryan things and make a even more beautiful thing that's going to be art. You know, I'll put together like the nerdy thing. You'll put together the art.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll add some music and cry and watch it for 20 minutes.
Well, and we'll have the beautiful sound, hopefully.
Yes.
Hey, you feel good about the pad cameras?
I do feel good about the pad cameras. So we also have a high-speed camera at the pad.
Yep.
Fingers crossed everything went well with that. We've got some just beautiful wide views. Like the pad is just so majestic. And just capturing that in high quality, a nice wide shot. I'm just so excited. Hopefully that worked. We also have a stereo VR cam up close at the pad, and ambisonic 4-channel audio.
Wait, did you take one of the Black Magics to the pad?
Well, no, we had the Black Magic here, but we had one of the K2 stereo cameras, so a little bit less resolution, but more feasible for
that
the
Black
this
Magic
time
one's
around.
nasty. That
yes.
one. If we can, hey Black Magic, if you want to get a
next
stereo.
time around, that is going at the pad. We have some modifications, larger memory modules that'll allow it to survive the scrubs. That was the one thing, is we needed to be ready for a 48-hour scrub.
And so that's what's good too for this, was that it was because it even launched within the 2-hour launch window. We have a lot better confidence of even our pad cameras and stuff.
Right.
You just have better odds if it's near the beginning versus sitting there baking for another 2 hours.
Yes.
You know, on the end of the window. And exposure should be better because it's daylight versus night. So fingers crossed.
Yes.
When is retrieval? Do you know?
There's one round soon tonight, and then maybe one tomorrow morning. So we shall see.
We got another replay while we're at it. This is from our little tracker. Look at that.
Is that Spencer's shot?
Yeah, I think that's Spencer, right? It has a tilt limit?
From Mr. T.
Oh, pan limit. Man, that's pretty darn good, too. That's smooth. It does help when it's not quite as tight as 2,000 millimeters.
Yes.
You know, it smooths out, but that is fantastic. Great work there, Spencer, as well. Spencer, unfortunately, had to be inside the trailer to do to do that. And there's the Jamie Obu. Oh, man. I can't believe it. I am utterly shookified. Yeah. Hey, I'm also going to do us a favor. I think I could probably do a notch or two of this. What do you think? You're welcome, because I know you lost your control. There we go. Yeah. A little better exposure now. But, yeah, Ryan, great work. Say bye to everyone before you don't just...
Bye, everybody.
But
thank you for watching. This is
here's another shot from Tuna. This is inside of Tuna. Well, sorry, we don't call it Tuna anymore. Remember, this is Titan. We don't know about Titan. The only reason we called it Tuna is because it was Luna 2. But you can see Jamie running the show there in the replay. You can see Spencer running one of the trackers. And it'll probably start shaking. Oh, there you go. There's the shake from the acoustic energy of the rocket. Holding on to the support. That is a cool shot. That's our trailer that we brought on, by the way. If you guys are curious what it takes to run a show like this, that's what it takes to run a show like this. We have, that's not even the business end. The business end is behind this camera. That's just the kind of the little control room in our trailer. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at. That's what a technical director is seeing to bring you these shots. Look at all those shots there. Look at all them chickens. But look at all them shots. Sorry, if you don't know that reference, that's going to go not very well. Do we have the shot from the over-the-shoulder? Okay, we got more replay. We're in replay mode already. I love this. Man, the coolest thing about this is, like, this wasn't... it happened. It happened on April Fool's Day. What the heck? All right, here's the over the shoulder. Oh, man, I didn't realize I was straight in the middle. And I'm straight covering it up, aren't I? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, maybe this would be good. Stay over there, Timothy. I'm going to be sad, actually, if I'm just, like, straight down the middle. If it's just coming out of my head. It's playing. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Internally, it's recorded better. Right now, we are dropping frames, so don't worry. But, hey, I don't look that lobster-necked. I was nervous that I was getting fried. I kept reapplying sunscreen, but my neck was just sitting there in the sun. Maybe you can see better on your monitor. Maybe it's really bad. It's fine. You're fine. Let me feel. It doesn't feel
Integrity Houston, updated PRM numbers when you're ready to copy.
Power.
All right, Houston, we are ready to copy.
TIG is 2 seconds earlier at 4 minutes, 48 seconds. TIGO unchanged at 2 seconds.
Perfect position.
49, 48, TIGO 26.
And the sound.
I am praising that beautiful flamey bird. Wow, pointy end up, my friends. What a treat. What an absolutely gorgeous launch. I can't believe it. I'm still just in absolute disbelief.
I can't believe it went in the opening.
In the opening of the window.
Essentially the opening of the window. Yeah.
Within the first 5 minutes of the window, basically.
Wow.
10 minutes. That is absolutely crazy. On the first attempt.
That's it.
Wow. Maybe they did get the hydrogen stuff figured out a little bit. We didn't hear one word about leaks. Wow. So, yeah, I'm stoked. That's fantastic. What do you probably want to, yeah. Ryan, everyone say one more goodbye to Ryan.
I'm going to stop recording and start gathering some things.
Excellent.
Shut some stuff down.
Excellent. Yeah, awesome. We'll probably start wrapping here in the next 30 minutes or so.
Okay. Sounds good.
Excellent. All right. Good work to Ryan Shalinsky. Thank you so much for the fantastic work. This is from the VAB. This is NASA shot. NASA shot from the VAB. That's good, too. I mean, it's a little overexposed, and also it's just the angle being straight on from the sun, basically, for them. They're just at that little bit more angle, a few more degrees.
Integrity Houston, for Optimus on the PCD, we have time update instructions when you're ready.
In Discord, they're wondering if I plan to be in that spot in Discord. Alex is asking, and I wanted to be in the shot, but I didn't expect to be straight down the middle of it.
I think we will call you back when we're ready for that.
All right, that one is not urgent. 2 minutes to maneuver to PRM attitude.
We are watching and concurred. 90-second-ish, maybe.
Yes, I do, Jamie. The PRM, that's a perigee raise maneuver. I just realized that's what they're talking about. They're getting attitude to be able to line up for that perigee raise maneuver that's going to be happening here. Yeah. Jamie, yeah, but like, can we do it earlier? Is earlier a thing? Sorry, we're trying to line up more interviews on air right now. Because I want to be, I think we're going to try to wrap up here about 7, honestly, probably like, I do want to see the apogee raise maneuvers at T plus 49 minutes. So, that's only 10 minutes from now. So, okay, sorry, we had to do scheduling because we've been kind of cramming in a few interviews and stuff, and I think my mother will be proud to know that I'm that was trying to arrange to do an interview with NBC, which is one of the biggest broadcasters here in the United States.
Integrity Houston, MCC polls go for PRM pending attitude and saws.
Hey, we copy. MCC is go. Maneuver starting.
Maneuver starting already. Maneuver starting already? I thought that was 10 minutes from now. Maybe it depends on the flight trajectory and all that stuff. But are they actually talking about lighting the engine already for the perigee raise maneuver? So this would be where, so the orbit right now is elliptical. So it's, right, it's like it's an ellipse. And right now, if they don't fire the engines, they will be returning already within about the next hour. They'd be returning at in an hour and 5 minutes or so. They would be coming back and re-entering the atmosphere. That would be an abort scenario. So they require, they design this on purpose so that if something's wrong, if something isn't looking good on, say, the ICPS here, the upper stage, that they will automatically return. They won't be stranded, you know, heading out to the moon with a crippled spacecraft. So this is intentional. Like I keep saying, people are asking, why isn't it landing on the moon? Because they're doing this kind of iterative, you know, step-by-step approach. And, yeah, they... That's why they're doing it this way. So I'm a little surprised, though. I think in the timeline they mentioned, yeah, this is supposed to happen at in the timeline in the press kit. It does say T plus 49 minutes, but yeah, T plus we're at T40. Although I don't see them, I don't think they're doing the apogee raise maneuver yet. So anyway, regardless of when it happens, this is what will actually get them into orbit, and then they'll do another burn at T plus 1 hour and 47 minutes. Basically 2 plus 1 hour 48 minutes. That's when we'll do the main apogee raise burn. Still not heading out to the moon, and then after that we wait like days. We don't do the translunar injection burn until T plus 1 day, 1 hour and 37 minutes. So that'll be basically tomorrow at 6, like, what is that, 7 p.m. basically or something Eastern. So if you guys want to watch that, I will not be streaming that. That will be all the way back. That will be, you know, watch it on the NASA feeds. We're going to wrap up here soon. I wanted to see this ICPS burn. I wanted to make sure this was going well. And then I should try to answer a few more questions. We've had some extremely generous super chats that I need to get to. Let me rapid fire a few. I'm so sorry. I'm so behind. I've been listening. I've been dialed in. I'm so sorry. If you did super chat and I missed it, I'm sincerely, like, this is the worst feeling for me, is knowing, like, that I'm missing some of these. I can't even tell you. If you did support and you became a member too, there's a lot of you. Thank you so much. You are the reason we're able to do this. I'm missing so many of these. I'm going to try to find. I saw a couple bigger ones. I saw like a $50, a couple $50 I think coming. So I do want to catch up to these. You are all amazing though. If you even if you're just here watching, liking, listening, subscribing maybe for the first time, it all really does mean the world. And it makes this happen. You're seeing a sense of our crew and a sense of our gear. You know, all the investment that it takes to be able to do these missions, and it wouldn't be possible without all of you out there. So I'm gonna keep. Here's a €50 from Dami. I know digital cameras at launch towers struggle with exposure range compared to film cameras back then. Has this been solved? How many live cameras will NASA provide, like SpaceX? Greetings from Germany. I'm from a small 3D game studio watching as a company. That's awesome. So dynamic range on film is still really hard to beat. NASA still rolls with some film cameras, high-speed film cameras, because it's really good. It's really hard to beat film, especially I feel like film does a better job when it's overexposed than a digital sensor. A sensor still kind of, once it clips those pixels, once it clips the gain and there's no more headroom, you're left with just, it's white. That's all you got. And film, there's something about it where it's kind of like, I don't know, it falls off a little bit better at the very top where there's just a little bit more juice you can squeeze out of those images. So film is still kind of king for that, although these days we're getting into dual native ISO. We're getting into a lot of sensors that are expanding that ISO range even more to be able to help capture things like the hot exhaust, bright hot exhaust coming out, and things in the shadows and things illuminated outside of that. So, yeah, it's... they're improving though, and there's improvements still to be made with I mean, that's basically what HDR is, high dynamic range. You know, a lot of our cameras on our phones have HDR, and a lot of our televisions and stuff can do HDR, where they're giving you really bright whites and crisp, you know, blacks on screen. That's HDR. A lot of cameras these days though are trying to expand that out, and it's still hard to compete against the look and feel of film. Hello from Northern Virginia, Mooner Bus Baby. Thank you so much. Here's $99. Drew here, owner and winemaker for Moonbase Cellars Winery. When do we expect a full functional Moonbase? Well, you'll want to know, won't you, as a winery? Thank you so much. Honestly, I think at this rate, I would be surprised if we have a functional, like, permanently. Was that NASA giving Windows? Are they out? Is their broadcast done? They went sideways. Okay, they had. Oh my word, it's hard. Broadcast is hard. But yeah, in my opinion, I don't think there'll be anywhere near a permanent presence on the moon until for 10 years. Like before there's not permanent, but persistent presence, we'll call it. I think we're still 10 years away. So keep making wine until then. Start aging it because that's barrel-aged wine. Going to be worth a lot of money someday if it's coming from the moon. Jamie wants space wine too. Let's see here. What is the T0 time to make? Okay, sorry, we're kind of beyond that now.
Integrity Houston, we see Orion in attitude and Saws in position for PRM.
Okay, here we go. Perigee race maneuver. That's good.
We see the same on board. Looking good, Stan.
Sorry, still just trying to catch up. There's so many. I'm missing so much, guys. Thank you so much for all this, all your generosity. More moon cheese. This is a good question. This is a good one to discern. And yeah, I did want to answer this. You saw an article about Orion's heat shield being potentially unsafe. Do you know anything about this, or is it fake news? It's not fake news. That's absolutely true. There was an issue with Artimas I that cropped up on the heat shield for Orion, and they did not really know the root cause, and it got studied. The new NASA administrator wanted more transparency on that, and he brought together outside experts to really listen onto the NASA's and Lockheed's understanding of what happened, and to say, is it safe to fly in a slightly different configuration, a slightly different reentry profile for today? And so we will see how that works out. Now, last time, to be clear, last time the crew would have been completely safe had they flown on that heat shield that was damaged. They just saw more damage and more pocking than they would have expected. And what happened was there's pockets of gas that got trapped, and then it would basically burst off and break the heat shield. And yeah, they saw that. They found what was wrong. Artemis III will start flying with an upgraded heat shield. Different, more akin to what they were trying to do something different than the Apollo program did. They were basically trying to make it, again, we're trying to do things cheaper and better. It turns out it was cheaper to do it this way, but it wasn't better. So they're finding a happy medium, and they're quite confident that for Artemis 3 and 4 going forward, that it will be fine. And they're confident that this flight profile will be fine too. They've altered it so the peak temperature does not reach the same. You're actually, technically, you're getting more heat energy when you're staying, when you slow down, instead of taking more initial peak thermal reentry heating. Yeah, it'll be, like, honestly, I really do think, I feel now okay about it after there's been, external validations of this. So that's kind of my thought. Look at that sunset behind me, by the way. Do I need to bump exposure up again, or are we doing all right? All right, I'll bump it. This is the beauty. We lost our, wait, is that going the right way? Yes. Too much? Maybe. Good. Oh, look at that shot with sunset right behind it. We're still 15 minutes away from sunset, but it feels like it's like I'm cold. I'm like in the shadow right now. Wow. Okay, so yeah, thank you for having that question and wondering if it's fake news. It is harder and harder to discern these days. So, like I said, I'm trying real hard to catch up on some super chats here. Man, this is all still from not even from launch. I'm trying to catch up. Thank you guys. So amazing. So amazing. All the support. Thank you guys so much. Here we go. From Lex Friedman. Lex Friedman, thank you so much. Hey, I'm not that cold actually, but wow, look at this thing. What is this hog? This is your jacket. I don't know if I'll fit in your jacket, Jamie. Well, look, I can't even get my arm in it. Well, because you got to remember, you guys sometimes forget that I'm ripped. I'm really strong. I have huge, big muscles. And actually, it is really tight. Yeah, but look at I'm gonna burst out of this thing. It's actually really tight. To be fair, I know you probably can't tell on camera, but I have actually been working out a lot lately, and believe it or not, it has made some things not fit as well as they should. I'm not that cold, but I do appreciate that. That was very kind. Now that I potentially stretched out your beautiful jacket, that is actually a sick jacket. But Lex Friedman, by the way, my friend Lex Friedman, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support, Lex. It really means a lot. I'm always a fan of you and your work. So awesome. If you guys know who Lex is, then you know that that's a pretty generous thing, and you know the work that Lex does. So let's see. For humanity, I love that. Yes, absolutely.
Integrity, good PRM, and 1 minute to Teeter's handover.
They already did the perigee raise maneuver. They did it, and they didn't even tell. They weren't even talking about it.
That we see the save on board, and the sun is rising on Integrity.
That's crazy. They're going into sunrise while we're in sunset.
Outstanding.
Lucky them. They got both in 45 minutes. That's sick. I want to see views from inside the capsule. I hope that they start, once they get ground link, hopefully they're able to do that. Wait.
Houston, Integrity for toilet setup, step 2.5.
Go ahead.
Yes, there was not an installed Oxon inlet filter, even with empty Oxone, in the hose when I opened up the filter.
We'll get to Jacob's, I'm assuming, really, really insanely generous thing, but I want to hear more about what this LOX filter they're talking about, that there wasn't something in it that's supposed to be in it. But Jacob, thank you so much from Oshcut, who is working on another tracker for us, by the way. We're going to have our own custom tracker hardware. They've already built one. We got some tweaks to make it really shine. But Oshcut has been a huge support. Yeah, you can bring that tracker out. Yeah. We'll show you that. That's from our friends. I met the guys at Oshcut last year at Open Sauce, which is a really fun thing that I'll be going to again this year. If you're over on the West Coast and you're a maker or you like makers things, then come say hi. I'll be there. And I think it's in July this year, late July in San Francisco. Yeah, Jacob works at Oshcut, maybe the owner of Oshcut, probably, I think. Huge supporter, big fan. I'll show you this tracker that they made. Actually, it's pretty fantastic. So we you can see one of our trackers here, but
Integrity, Houston, in the blind. We are not receiving Orion data. We are receiving ICPS data.
So a quick rock search during that 3-engine press meant that they're on the 3 engines. I don't know if that's true. I thought we would have heard a call out beyond 3-engine press. And we'll probably hear about that in the press conferences and online. So press 3 was they pressed past the point of success with only 3 engines. Oh, there we go. Abort once. Yes, it'd be a shuttle 3. Yep, exactly. Okay, so press 3 was they pressed past the point where they could keep going on 3 engines successfully. And AOA is abort once around, so could abort with 1 orbit and land safely. Man, I wish I would have had all olives available. I still think that's probably correct. Oh, here's the tracker that Oshcut's making us, by the way. So it is quite heavy. So, yeah, this is a pretty big, beefy beast, and you basically see it's 2 motors that are very smooth. Yeah, you want mass behind it so it doesn't shake. This actually is, it's probably what, almost 50 pounds, 22 kilograms. Yeah. Hey, we were talking about lifting. I can get my pump on with this thing. Now that's sick. Thank you. Now I'm just showing off. Now I'm just trying to make it obvious. Oh no, me big boy. Okay. Let's see. Ned's deploy, I believe, was. I think they dropped some CubeSats. No, I think Ned's deploy was the panels.
Integrity Houston on Tidris West. White Sands is receiving data. Houston is not. We're still troubleshooting.
Oh, tracking and data relay satellites. That's right. That's what TDRS stands for. I could not think of it in the moment at all. I was just I just completely forgot. And that's one that. Oh, interesting. And Jamie's letting me know that if there's a second S at the end, it's the whole system, the tracking and data relay satellite system. So that's kind of the whole like constellation. But if it's just one, that's just the single satellite. Here's another $50 donation from Brian L. Orion crew, carry our hopes, our courage, and a bold step towards humanity's next frontier. Thanks, Tim and team, for bringing this incredible history to the masses. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Really, it does mean the absolute world to all of us. And it means, I mean, this does matter for, you know, the public opinion and for funding and all this stuff. If you're excited about this and this brings you hope and it makes you feel something besides sadness and anger, which a lot of people on the internet do feel these days, then welcome. Welcome. This is what I live for. This is what makes me excited. This is something to be hopeful for, to work towards, to work together on. Like, that's what spaceflight is. That's what spaceflight means to me. And you have to put your differences aside, and you have to learn to work together. If aliens, you know, if you've watched Independence Day, you know that sometimes aliens pop up and start blowing up very specifically iconic buildings only. And if that happens, you have to be able to work together to beat those aliens, right? You have to. Everyone knows what I'm talking about here.
Integrity Houston in the blind. We see good solar normal maneuver. ARB TIG is expected to be 45 seconds earlier than the pad. That's 1 hour, 46 minutes, 0 9 seconds. No update to TIGO yet.
So this is a good question. They can't send images because they don't have Starlink, but the first moon landing was live streamed. This is a great question, sincerely. So once they're at the moon, it's way easier to just point all your tracking stations at the moon, right? That's easy. As the Earth rotates, you get a tracking station to follow the Earth or the moon. You point it. They had to set up. They had a little satellite receiver on the LEM. They have that same capability here. But on ascent, it's moving. It's too low to the ground. It's hard. You know, you're only a few hundred kilometers in altitude. 1 to 200. So therefore, you're actually only passing over the ground for like 4 minutes. So a ground tracking station has a harder time keeping up. So when you're further away at higher altitudes, it's much easier to get a stable downlink. Now, Starlink will enable constant downlink like that because of the reasons we talked about, like with Starship, where when it's flying, it's constantly flying underneath a shell of Starlink. So it is always within range of one of the 10,000 satellites. So we have live streaming capabilities when it's close to Earth. It's easier to get constant capture when it's far away from Earth. Technically, a satellite can see it for almost 12 full hours. You know, if you're at the equator, one dish would be able to see the moon for 12 hours, right? And that's just orbital mechanics. That's just how it all works. And if in the future, Starlink could fill in those gaps when they are still at a low altitude orbiting the Earth. So, fair question. From Atomics Whoosh, $100 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you for covering this. Shame it couldn't be an aerospace taking us to the moon.
Christina. Just before the TDRS handover, we heard your report about the lack of an Oxone inlet filter. We copy that there is not one installed as expected, but please put in a new one.
Okay, we are out of NASA TV feeds, which means it is probably time for me to be able to wrap this up, too, because once we don't have NASA TV feeds, we don't really have a ton to bring you guys visually besides my mug. So you've probably seen plenty of that already, so therefore I really think we should keep going here and try to wrap up. So, Christopher, thank you so much. Christopher Farley, oh, that's love. 50 British, oh my God, Great Britain pounds. Thank you so much for your generous donation. We're seeing Whackin, never super chatted before, but was an entrepreneur that found some measure of success. Loves space, loves science. Wife hates your voice, so I blast it when I can't carry on, man. I'm so sorry to your wife. I wish I had a sultry voice like Ryan. If I had Ryan's voice, I think we'd be in the tens of millions every launch. I mean, I know it's not the greatest, trust me, but I can't help be myself and express my love of this stuff. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate, and thank you for your generous donation. Another $100 super chat. Food, drink fund. Great job, team. Thank you so much. We will be doing those things this evening.
In the blind, we're rebooting some ground equipment to try to recover the link. Expect 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. So they're having Oh, yeah, that's right. So Orion can't hear them, but we can. Oh, and we're hearing what they're saying to Orion. Got it. They're blindly transmitting, hoping that Orion can hear. They do not have a proper downlink. They think it's from the next ground station that that there should be under coverage. They're rebooting that basically. So, like we said, ground stations are very old school. They're literally a moving dish that aims at it and talks to it, right? And so, obviously, again, this is in a pretty low orbit right now. And so those dishes have to move with it. And so sometimes if they're not configured right or whatever, things happen. So that is why they're in the blind. Yeah, hopefully that answers that question and that gets resolved here really quickly. So we got a few more here, and then I'm going to wrap up. So you have UCF PhD aerospace student here. Thanks for all you do, man. Had to work through the launch. What do you think about the future of Artimas or of Artimas? You think it's going to stay in play moving forward? I think. I mean, I think the question. I definitely think the Artimas program is moving forward in a very exciting way, and.
Integrity Houston in the blind, expecting an imminent automated swap to string 2 on board. Also, reminder, we are still receiving good ICPS data.
Okay, so they still have data. That's good. But they're just not having comms at this moment. So that's good. So I think the Artimas program is moving in a way that is exciting, and I think it's actually getting they're doing the right things for this to be sustainable and the future of aerospace. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I do think the roles of SLS and Orion will likely shift in the next in the next 3-5 years. I think that's quite obvious, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to transition from this kind of more traditional bit of stuff where we're going from the kind of the traditional way of doing things with fixed price or cost plus contracting into this more commercial era where we have Blue Origin and SpaceX ready to pick up the bill. They're already doing what frankly is the hard work with these massive lunar landers landing on the moon. How hard is it going to be to get people on those from low Earth orbit instead of sending that out to the moon? It's really going to be. I really think that the future, they're blending, and it's going to be a little bit of a transition. It just is a little bit awkward that we did happen to finish this rocket right as...
Houston, voice check on Tidris.
Loud and clear, Stan Hallis.
Good. And we now have you the same. Good to hear your voice.
And good to hear yours as well.
Good.
All right, we are still trying to understand whether the automated swap to S-band string 2 recovered comm for us or what was going on the ground. We gave you calls about an ARB TIG and an Oxone inlet filter. Did you copy them?
Copied all.
Excellent.
I have a very important question from my friend from William Osmond, who asked me a question. He just said, everyone wants to know where they poop. And if everyone wants to know that, I will tell you where they poop. And I'm happy to announce that they poop in a toilet now. There's actually a toilet on the Orion capsule. First toilet beyond low Earth orbit. The Apollo capsule did not have a toilet. So, yeah, that's where they poop. They poop in a toilet. It's kind of in the floor. It's weird. It's like in the floor. They open a door, and it's kind of following the radius there. It's like this little, because once you're in space, it doesn't matter where it is, and if you were on Earth trying to poop on it, you'd be laying on your side in like a fetal position almost, like on the floor. But once you're in space, the orientation doesn't matter, so that's where the toilet is. And now you all know where the toilet is on Orion, and where they're going to poop once they're at the moon.
And integrity for comm, while we are sorting out the earlier comm loss, we plan to remain on S-band string 2.
Okay, we have a few more here, and I did want to say a quick shout-out.
S-band string 2 and Quid 19 has been inhibited for right CCD.
Copy Quid 19.
Shout-out to the group text homies back home. Finally, we do have downlink with good enough data for onboard footage. Yes. So again, they mentioned that they're coming up through sunrise, so they're already back in sunlight. Even though here it's sunset, you're seeing the sun go down. They're on the other side of the planet already. Those solar panels are starting to soak up that delicious sun. So that's fantastic. I've got a few more here, and then we're going to try to wrap. Vegas Brent, thank you so much for your generous donation. That is incredible. Really, really, really appreciate that. We've got a few more from Ken Sav, launchclub.ai says, thanks for broadcasting. Well, thank you so much for joining and saying hi. We have insane shot of the rocket launching from your head. That actually is pretty wild. I was upset at first. I'm like, oh, man. But you know what? It's actually a really cool shot that is like going right up. I mean, that's you couldn't have asked for that any better. From Nico, cheers from Argentina. Nico and Addie here. Thank you so much for your generous donation. Let's go humanity. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Atomic swoosh. See you, Space Cowboy. I'm not sure what that means. Am I being spied on? Thank you so much for saying hi and for your generous donation as well. That'll be taco funds for tonight. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm seeing so many, again, we're seeing so many generous donations, and it's I'm not going to be able to make it through. But since people watching from the Orange Spacesuit days, man, you guys are absolutely incredible. So I'm feeling good, guys. I think it's time to start wrapping up here. We got a lot to tear down, and we got a lot to get ready for. And I have a little date with NBC News here that I have to prep for as well. So if you're in the U.S., I don't know, tune into NBC Nightly News. I don't know if I'm on that. I have no idea. Maybe it's just like some local news affiliate, but maybe not. Maybe I'm going to make my mother proud. And my grandmother would be very proud. She was a big, big, big NBC fan. So who knows? We'll see if I'm going to make it on the big stage. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Sincerely, the support, everything that you guys did to come here. I saw a bunch of likes. We saw so much of that. Again, one more time, if you want to get yourself some awesome merch, including our beautiful new Orange to the Core shirt, our pocket tee with the sun-kissed isocyanate that makes the orange rocket be orange. Head on over to everydayastronaut.com/shop. Support the channel. Get something cool for yourself. Get a new hat. Get a new mug. Get a new shirt with the crew on the back. It's the best way to support the channel. Or check out our other stuff. We still have our Falcon 9.
Houston, questions for Jeremy and for
rockets.
Christina.
And we got our thermal heat shield tiles back in stock, our 1969 collection. We have our Methalox hoodies back. And most importantly, if you guys are looking for some cheap merch, you can go over to everydayastronaut.com/shop. Click on the RUDs, the Rapid Unscheduled Discount section, although they are scheduled. You can get shirts for as cheap as $10. Where else can you get shirts for $10? Good shirts. Full flow stage combustion cycle shirts. Future Mars, some aerospikes that are left over. F1 shirts. These are some of the classics. $10. You better clear this thing out. We're trying to clear up some inventory. So head on over to everydayastronaut.com/shop. I've got a link right there in the comments. Should be easy to find. And everyone give Allie a shout out for her amazing new collection with her new Artimas collection, with her new translunar collection at everydayastronaut.com/shop. All right, my friends, we have some teardown to do. We have been here for almost all day, basically 12 hours, or 11 hours at this point. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we would not be capable of doing any of this stuff if it weren't for you guys all watching along with us. I know that, I hope that we brought a smile to your face, and I hope that you got to soak in this history along with us. It's just been this is the most picture-perfect launch I think you can possibly have, and to have you all tuning in really does mean the world. You guys are all absolutely incredible, so thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. A big thank you to our crew here on site and all around the world that are helping to moderate. We got Jeffrey and Lisa and all the people behind our moderator teams. We got our crew on site here, Ryan, Jamie, Andrew, Spencer that are on site here. We've had John Pisani helping us with a bunch of stuff just throughout the weekend or the week. And we have all of you who have been supporting and sharing and watching and loving. And it really does mean the absolute world to me. This is my dream, and you guys all make it happen. I don't want to keep talking because I genuinely will probably cry. So thank you so much for everything. Stay tuned. We have a lot of videos that I'm working on that are very long. So if you like long videos, hopefully you guys like that. So we will see you guys soon. That's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people with Cyan Proctor saying goodbye as well. Bye, everyone. Bye.